Hey guys, welcome back to the Grand Melee. We are almost ready to get this match started. Now, you guys have been a little bit negative on Jordan's chances so far, but can he, how is his drafting skill? Can he outdo Hera in that way, maybe? Get a little edge?
I think he has a pretty good strategic mind. He's definitely gotten better on the drafts. I think that would be fairly even, honestly, between him and Hera in terms of drafting.
Also, GL, with the, they work so well as a group. So they certainly sat together and they are thinking about this so much. I know how well they prepared against MBL, for example, right? Deciding game, if he makes it here or if MBL makes it here. And they discuss strategies. That's the way how MBL plays. That's how we want to counter him. And obviously, Doubt, Viper, Taro, they've all played Hera dozens of times. So they combined knowledge will prepare the draft. And I think he will know exactly, okay, that's the likely civs, that's the civs that I want to play. Not sure if Hera thinks that far ahead in that sense, or if he just goes in it, okay, that's the two maps that I want to play, and let's see what happens after that.
Yeah.
All right, well, some good analysis, and we're going to have more in just a moment. But first, let's bring out the players. Ellie, take it away.
Much. I'm so excited that we're just moments away from getting our third quarterfinal underway, and I don't want to delay this any longer, so let's get the players up on stage. We'll start with the fan favorite, the Canadian Hera. Please join me up on stage. He's going to be up against a pretty tough opponent. Hera, come on over here. We're not done with you just yet. He's going to be up against another fierce competitor. Jordan, please join us up on stage as well. Woo! Oh, there he is. Come join me on this side. I'm really looking forward to this match. I think a lot of fans in the comments on Twitch chat are really looking forward to this set as well. Jordan, before we get started, do you have any words to your fans and some final words for Hera before you start playing?
So obviously, words to the fans, thank you so much for supporting me. It's been a bit of a rougher qualifier, but made it with a bit of luck. And obviously, I hope you guys enjoy the show. And Hera, obviously, good games. I hope it's going to be a good set, and let's play it out.
Very sweet. You know, Jordan, you made it here in the replacement qualifier, a second chance, very true to your Phoenix symbol. Let's see you work your magic. And Hera, coming all the way from South America, you're living in Argentina now. You have lots of fans there, lots of fans in Canada, all over the world. What would you like to tell them? And more importantly, what would you like to tell Jordan before we begin?
Well, thank you, first of all, to the fans, both here and at home watching. So big shout out to you guys supporting me and supporting the stream and the tournament. And of course, to Jordan, best of luck. We played a lot on the ladder. We played a lot in show matches and tournaments. It's going to be a banger, so may the best man win.
And we quote, it's going to be a banger. So let's get settled. Best of luck to these gentlemen, and we look forward to the great games. Artosis, back to you.
Thank you, Ellie. And I love the interviews. So many characters in this scene. It's very, very refreshing to see these big personalities go head to head. Kind of everyone's teasing each other a little bit, having a good time. Everyone's played each other countless times. We're going to see mind games, right, because of this?
Well, we technically could, but I don't think that the settings are too inviting for too many mind games, right? It's pretty standard maps, it's a pretty standard draft. It's the two players that typically shine with their meta. So I think we kind of know in what direction we are going. We simply don't know how high the level is going to be today.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a quick look at those qualifier stats. This is actually the one I really wanted to see for the qualifier stats because, of course, Jordan just barely making it into this tournament. The very last player to qualify just barely took down NBL 3-2 in a close series. So yeah, if we can throw those head-to-head graphics up, we'll take a look at them real quick.
And Hera beating Doubt 3-0 in the qualifier.
And then Doubt beating Jordan 3-0. So if we go by that logic...
Should be a 6-0.
It should be a 6-0, yeah, exactly. It should be a 6-0.
Yeah. Well, I guess we actually don't have a graphic for those guys for this, so never mind about that. But the draft should be starting here just momentarily. Any other final thoughts before we get into that, guys?
Looked up the matchup information all time between these two. It's fairly even. 6 wins for Hera, 4 wins for Jordan.
Oh.
And I believe if I'm looking at the games correctly here, we got 28 map wins for Hera and 22 map wins for Jordan. So
That's pretty close.
All time, that's pretty good.
If you look at it into detail, though, out of those 4 Jordan wins, we had 1 charity event,
Yeah.
2 show matches, and out of the S-tier tournaments,
You know,
6-1.
I'm really not feeling like I'm not getting the vibe that you're on this man's team.
You're right.
so
yeah.
much.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, this is like the 3rd instance here.
Sorry.
Well, actually.
I had breakfast with Hera this morning, and he was like, Roxy was looking it up, and they were like, okay, what 6-4?
Yeah.
And Hera was like, really, what? I thought I ruffle stomped him every time. What is happening? Then I looked into detail, and then was Hera like, oh, it's just show matches.
All right, well, guys.
That was at Hera's prime as well, where Jordan actually beat him.
Yep. Okay, here we are, and we're getting into the map draft here. And Land Madness, are you surprised? I'm not really surprised.
0%. It's
That
just
might be the map that might be like he might be the best player on that map.
yeah. Signature map for him, Land Madness, as we all know, impossible to wall. Your woodlines are surrounded by a stony area that you can't really control lots of areas. Therefore, you have to go for massive army. And Terra, arguably the best player with mass scouts in Feudal Age.
He's just the best with scouts. It feels like he'll always pull away the weak ones, and then you get the Castle Age. If he still has knights, he'll always pull back the weak ones to heal them. He'll always take the good engagements, and farms are big on Land Madness, and Hera is big on farms.
Yeah. And Jordan, we've seen him go for cavalry civilizations and open with archers. And just open like 2-3 archers as spearmen, be annoying, and then go into the double, triple stable switches, which makes it really tough for the opponent to react to. A bit similar to how Villese often plays it. So I'm really curious how Land Madness is going to be played. Honestly, I would love to see Jordan as his home map, something like Arena and something like Northern Isles.
Yeah. Just something where he can settle down a little bit more and start working his way towards Imp. I feel like if Jordan's going to win these games, he's going to win them in late Castle Age or Imperial Age against Hera.
Yeah.
I don't think he's winning in Feudal.
Will be really tricky, right? Hera is so aggressive. Hera is the one that doesn't really underbuild army in Feudal Age as well. Jordan neither. So I think like Feudal Age should be pretty close. And then in Castle Age, it's kind of the decision, how much are we booming, how much army are we going for, and how wild Hera kind of wants to make those games. Because Jordan, we kind of know what we are getting there, I would think. Okay, still messaging some in Discord here. Maybe they started to do the draft again. Looks a bit like it.
Yeah, it looks like we have just a little problem with the overlay, but that'll be back up in just a moment here, guys. Sorry about that.
I think
They're still deciding. I saw them talking to the admin there, so. Interesting. Now, Hera told me he's not investing the same amount of like emotional weight into this tournament as he did, and that would be really hard because we know he was super committed to winning the Wallalos, and very disappointed that he didn't go to the final there and didn't pull it out in the end. And he feels like this is better for him emotionally and mentally, and he feels kind of refreshed coming in here. So I wonder how that's going to affect his play. We saw him breeze through the qualifiers, like you said, 3-0ing Doubt, and he's just sticking to what he knows. He's picked Arabia, he's banned Arena, and on Jordan's side, Bringer Reeds and Gold Rush.
Yeah, and typically, if someone picks Arena, they're kind of saying, I think I'm the better player. Because Arabia is so standard, it's the most played map. Sheepfold, similar to that. So Hera plays what he loves to see. Ring of Reeds, love that for Jordan. Pretty tricky, can see different options. And Gold Rush, a lot of a timing map. So I love to see that one there as well.
Yeah, also banning Atacama, no surprise there.
Yeah, Atacama, something where Hera is so good, and Arena the band. So Hera was kind of open to playing Northern Isles, or at least didn't want to play Arena.
Hera banning Cumans and Bengalis.
Ooh.
No shenanigans here. And Jordan banning Britons and Hindustanis, immediately picking Poles as well.
Okay, that's pretty wild.
Bengalis.
So good.
Does that just tell you that like Hera's like, I just want to get an annoying civ out of the way? I don't care if you play something like Burgundians or something like that.
Yeah, Burgundians obviously could be an Arena map. Arena with some we don't really have. Ring of Reeds, maybe Burgundians. And Gojaras are still open. I'm a bit surprised that we didn't see them yet. People kind of made their plans in that direction. Ring of Reeds could be Turks. Poles, maybe Gold Rush. We have seen them being pretty strong there. We have now seen people actually go for Land Madness with Byzantines as well.
Well, when you say people, do you mean MBL? Spearmen and skirmishers against eagles?
He got to cataphracts at least.
Yeah.
some Frank's Love, potential for Sheepfold, potential for Arabia, for Land Madness. Tries to play the mobility there for sure. Lithuanians. Still no Gojara pick. I'm a bit surprised here.
Yeah, there are 2 open maps here that could potentially lend themselves towards Gujaras, but will we see Chinese actually be picked? I'm surprised. Honestly, I would pick Chinese probably above Gujaras. And we saw Land Madness with Chinese a lot of times in the qualifiers. You start with 12 villagers now, even though you get minus food when you begin the game. It's still a very solid civilization pick.
Yeah, I think a bit weaker than comparable to normal random map, because relatively speaking, your advantage isn't that big. But I'm still surprised no Gojaras here. Maybe you're so reliant on the sheep early on that you can't really play the mill opening that much.
Portuguese as well.
Jordan plays Saracens. This is like, we see some new civilizations here.
Yeah.
I'll have to see that.
Maybe I saw squinting at the screen. Maybe he's like, did I pick Saracens?
Do we have polls this time? Didn't Viper say he screwed up the draft a bit?
Did he?
Yeah, he said that. That might have been polls where we went crazy in the early one.
Well, I mean, Harris still has a snipe. Vietnamese. Now that is a civ. That is a civ that was not played once in the qualifiers. Not once.
Sick.
I looked at the chart from Nerfox.
Yep.
And Ornlu and I were looking at it together the other day. 0% on Vietnamese.
Okay, good job by the production. Still downloading the PNG. So we have the file here. Vietnamese certainly pick that we don't see too often. Obviously strong archers. You save some resources there with your eco upgrades, but where do you transition into? You don't even get hussars. Late game, it's kind of a counter to archer civs, but what's the archer civ that Jordan has to offer? I don't see one.
You can play cavalry with Vietnamese in Castle Age. It's decent.
Is that the game plan?
No, probably not, but you can.
Okay, now we are waiting for the snipe. Poles are gone, and Berbers.
Berbers. Wow, again, his second last pick being sniped.
But that's Berbers, obviously a good civ for Gold Rush. I think Berbers were picked to counter Aztecs on Gold Rush then.
Maybe.
So what are we playing? I think Hera might play Franks on Gold Rush. Oh no, Burgundians. Burgundians on Gold Rush maybe. Right, Ring of Reach gets tricky.
Land Madness is Chimera Franks for Hera, right? Burgundians is Gold Rush.
Mayans could be Gold Rush as well.
Mayans could be Arabia.
Franks could be Arabia. Sorry, Dave. It's pretty wild, and that's what I love about this draft, right? It feels so diverse compared to the other ones, where it was easier for us to like really shape up how the set is going to look like. This one, like Hera gave themselves so many options, and so did Jordan.
Yeah.
This Turk Ring of Reeds feels like the most predictable one.
Well, yeah, if you get the center control, they can be really strong, but if you don't have that center control, then you're kind of...
But you're always regaining it in Castle Age if you go Janissaries, no?
Yeah, but then you have to put your first castle, then you're kind of hard committing to Janissaries. You don't have any option to go for like a faster Imperial Age point, because you have to hard commit to getting that back again. Interesting, though. Anyway, Hera with the more, I think, meta civilization picks, and Jordan with some interesting takes here, Artosis.
Yeah, do you think then that Hera actually maybe won the draft a little bit, did a little bit of
I think he's
advantage?
comfortable. He's comfortable with the draft. I would hesitate to say either player won this one, because it's kind of like it's still up in the air, and we're wondering where each civ slots in. But the Bengalis pick especially, or the ban from that, told me that Hera is very confident against Jordan, and he's saying, I'm going to ban this civ that might not be the best, because I want an opportunity to draft those best civs. Right, and I'm gonna force you to maybe draft one early, like Poles. I can snipe that, and then I'll take the next best.
Yeah, big brain Hera play. All right, guys, we are ready for this set. So let's go ahead and send it over to Nili and Ornlu. Guys, take it away.
Welcome everybody to our third set of the day. We are now officially over halfway done, and Nili, we got ourselves a banger here.
Yeah, that's what we were told, right?
Yeah. I think, yes, these are two very standard players, as you guys were talking about earlier, but that, I think, creates a whole new dynamic where we have just really execution-focused games, and that should be pretty interesting to see just two very solid players go at it, just who can get these little advantages.
That's the dream that you want to see, right? Age of Empires played to the highest level with the best civilizations. We talked a lot about the draft. Maybe you have something to add, something that we overlooked?
I think that the only thing that I thought of was the Berbers ban is possibly for Gold Rush when he wants to play Tatars, because you don't want to run Tatars into Berbers. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, true. Then we have Aztec still for Sheepfold, or for Arabia as an option, or potentially even on Land Madness, as we saw Doubt went for, right?
But do you really want to do something just because Stout did it, though?
Well, it's still the team discussion, right? They're trying
Yeah.
to come up with the same ideas and trying to get the big plays in. And Aztecs, like maybe some Eagle Skirm opening, and especially if your opponent doesn't really have bloodlines, could be an option.
Well, here we are right away in game number 1 in this best of 5. It will actually be Jordan as the red Byzantines to the west of the map, and in the east in the blue as the Khmer will be Hera. So not having any of the two Mesocivs here in game number 1, first time of the day. What do you think of this Civ matchup right off the bat, Nelly?
I'm a bit surprised that we are actually seeing Khmer here, I have to say. Like, is that really the map where Khmer is really playing to their full potential? Because, like, you typically can't rush, like, the 18 villager early plays. The rushing distance is a bit longer there. And I think Jordan can play a bit more of a stable game. Unless Hera thinks, okay, no long rush distance, I can actually go to a lot of scouts and maybe add some skirmishes to counter the spearmen later.
The context in which I like Khmer here is that one, men-at-arm rushing is not all that great, and neither is rushing, because just the rush distances are a little bit longer, and Khmer, they want to skip the barracks whenever possible. So if you can get away with that, then I think you are all fine and dandy. And then if you go into like some sort of heavy feudal age play, then Khmer with the really strong farming, going to be a strong choice there. And it is a map in Age of Empires, so Byzantines are probably decent on it.
It's kind of weird how Byzantines feel that's like so solid, and they're, as you said earlier, like the 50% matchup against every single civilization.
Yep.
But then you can kind of draft them a bit later there as well.
And it's one of those situations where they never really feel oppressive, but they always have a chance in any sort of situation you put them in, and this is no different. You have strong monks potentially against Khmer and their cavalry and siege. You have the cheap counter units that can always be helpful, and it can help make up for the fact that you don't have an eco bonus. So Khmer, they have the sort of the raw income, but the efficiency of the Byzantine army is just really high.
Yeah, and like it's impossible to build an army that Byzantines can't counter, right? And their units are so cheap. The big problem of Byzantines, though, since we don't get bloodlines, your knight's not really that good, and therefore often you lack some mobility. And Hera, a master of mobility, loves to move around with those scouts, later knights, and in the late game some hussars. That's something Jordan really needs to take a close look at, how he deals with that.
And we have a 20 population uptime for both of these players, 0 seconds idle TC time. I seem to remember us talking about how these guys are very clean mechanically. And yeah, just 2 lumber camps on 2 different wood lines. So far, just the one here for Jordan. I guess it'll be more interesting as to what he opens with, because you don't have any sort of real eco bonus pointing you in any direction in the early game. It looks like he just wants to wall up a little bit, maybe go for some defensive spearmen and skirmishers and just kind of chill until Castle Age.
That will be tricky though, right? Because then Hera is completely dictating the game, should always get the scouting intel. This looks like, I would think, stable opening to me, right? He has 7 on food right now. He got 2 sheep, 1 deer, and 1 boar earlier. So I think a lot of food rotted there. And therefore, we see Jordan still has a full sheep left, while Hera needs to go into farming pretty soon.
He will, but I mean, Khmer farms not going to be too much of an issue for them. We have now the barracks on the way. If this indeed ends up being a bit of a scout mirror, we are in the situation where Khmer don't want to build the barracks if they can get away with it, like I said. So we could see cheap spearmen being added in to help in the scout war versus just pure scout. So maybe that's sort of the angle that Jordan's looking for here, as we already have the first farms coming down before feudal age in, like you were saying.
Oh, that's really early though, don't you think? Oh, Scout War feels like Hera wants to run, wanted to take. Oh, Jordan, nice one, takes the hill advantage there. Does 25% extra damage, 8 HP ahead.
You said, "Oh, Jordan takes the advantage there." So surprised, like, "Oh,
Hill advantage.
yeah, of course."
Yeah, but like that was nice micro.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah.
I wasn't surprised that it's Jordan. I was just excited by the moment.
Well, it is good to see regardless. We also have Horse Collar afforded here for Jordan for he seeds his first farm. Really helpful. Oh man, that's already what, like 6 or so farms for Hera as he actually goes for the archery range. He doesn't have any villagers on gold.
And that's without horse color. That's so surprising to me, Hera, there. Is that a mistake?
I
He
feel
was
like
not
it.
pressured.
Like, what is he scared of? 2 spearmen and a scout cavalry?
Huh. Okay, goes for the skirms. Like, he won't take any damage, but typically, like Khmer, you go into a lot of farms, you want to be very food heavy because your food income is just so much better, your villagers don't need to drop off. That's why we see the food trickle one by one compared to Jordan that will trickle in steps of 10, at least if you go for the full farm. And therefore, having the farm upgrade and not needing to reseed it as often just makes lots of sense. So I'm surprised that he went for the Dark Age farms.
Yeah, and in this situation where both players are being quite passive, which, I mean, is what we expected in this series, I feel like that does favor, actually, Khmer. Like, look at Hera's food count. I was thinking he was going to favor Byzantines in, like, a more passive game, but I feel like if Hera gets to a nice Castle Age time, he can make a lot of different plays happen in the mid-game.
And Hera scouted. Jordan's archery range was so incredibly late. Look at that. He still didn't queue a single skirm yet.
It's kind of interesting because I think Jordan didn't want to build the archery range early. I think he just wanted to put down a bunch of farms and just sort of build up his economy that way and maybe get a competitive Castle Age time. But Hera's just, I mean, he has the Khmer economy. Those farmers are like really crazy good and not investing a whole lot right now. I mean, to be fair, Jordan doesn't have to be worried about 5 skirmishers.
Yeah, this scout got so much value, right? That's really, really well played by Jordan here. Now goes for some more farms, still has that gold secured for him. Now defender's advantage, can go for some skirmishes. But as you mentioned earlier, the food of Hera already is skyrocketing. 16 on food.
It is just so satisfying to watch that food count just constantly go up with the Khmer, especially when you are looking for a very expensive upgrade like Castle Age, as we now have a bit of a tactical pause.
Like Jordan is changing some settings. That's the look I do if I look at like Windows setting. I want to increase something. Like where's that scrolling?
Oh yeah.
Okay, ready. I want to click here. I can't find it. Admin, please tell me how do I change the language of the game?
It only was at this point that Jordan realized his language was in Nepalese. Nah, I'm sure that we will get this issue sorted out in just a moment. And just as I say that, here we are. Hera now starting to apply some pressure at the front of Jordan's base. The military numbers are exactly the same, but the skirmisher numbers favor Hera. And that is going to be important because the spearmen are basically worthless in this fight. And you can just see 5 skirmishers are not the scariest army in Age of Empires.
Yeah, damage output is really low. It's more of a counter unit, cheaper for the Byzantines. That's why Jordan feels so comfortable going for it. But just look at the resources. Hera is about to click up to Castle Age. Jordan sits at 0 gold without a villager on gold, while Hera, well, we will see him up in Castle Age in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, and something that I always notice in Hera's play, he's so diligent about getting farms down quickly, and that just, the sort of natural consequence of that is you can get to really nice Castle Age times. And Hera, I mean, he's just poking around here with a few skirmishers. There we go, getting the first one right there. It's not really that big of a deal, but like Jordan has nothing in the bank right now. He's invested into fletching. He's still making more skirmishers, and this could be really nice in like the next 5 minutes or so for Hera.
And you said it, Byzantines, yeah, their units are nice, but one of the few civilizations that don't have a single economy bonus, right? Obviously cheaper Imperial Age, but that's absolutely irrelevant here. And therefore, Jordan, yeah, you got some numbers, you're scaring Hera away, but your Castle Age timing is not looking pretty, my friend.
No, and Hera clicking up right now just before the 13-minute mark. And at this point, I mean, we kind of expected with these guys 1 kill for each player as, we're getting towards Castle Age. At this point, Hera does have 6 villagers on gold. He's getting the gold mining upgrade. I'll be interested to see to what this is for. Fletching now as well. Maybe a bit of a knight skirmisher composition in the Castle Age if he's thinking Jordan's going to be playing more with the archery range.
Oh, should get a good shot in here. Dives in, knows he has better numbers, closes down the distance. Therefore, the range advantage is not really a thing. Hill advantage could maybe take a shot. Jordan mics away from it pretty nicely, though.
Yep, is able to get the high ground himself. He's grabbing wheelbarrow. It's like he's having this nice chill game. Don't invest too much into feudal age. Make some nice cheap Byzantine trash. Whereas Hera's like, okay, I'm just gonna go up to castle age, man. And this, Hera can take this in any number of ways. He can go super aggressive with it. He will at least have some aggression. He's got 6 on gold. He has the stable coming in. He's got scale barding armor as well. But he could also easily add in town centers, as Khmer, as we keep saying, really strong economically, and just get himself in a really big lead in the mid game.
Only 10 on wood, though. I think Jordan, his scout, is now around, tries to see what Hera is doing in the back of his base, and he really needs to see the stable there at the front, so Jordan knows, okay, I can't really move out anymore.
Yeah, it's just going to be chilling in his base with skirmishers. I mean, this fight, it looks like there's stuff happening. It doesn't really matter. It's just a bunch of skirmishers flinging their pool noodles at each other, as Jordan just going to be trying to chill and get to Castle Age.
Did you see it?
Oh?
I'm not sure if you saw it.
Nope.
I think he doesn't know. He doesn't know! What is this?
Oh, no! Oh, we have Elite Skirmisher and Bodkin Arrow coming in for Hera, as he is an entire Castle Age research time ahead of his opponent. He did not need to use the market whatsoever. No stone selling necessary. And yeah, Hera can just do whatever he wants at this point. He's got a Knight on the way. He's got Bodkin and Elite Skirmisher. And Jordan, I mean, yeah, he can defend himself at least pretty well with his civilization, but it's going to be hard for him to ever get out of his base anytime soon, as even just Elite Skirmishers, they then have enough damage to start picking off villagers.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 damage all of a sudden compared to the 3. And, well, now compared to the 3. Let's take a look here. Knight wants to go in. Does he want to jump under the town center? He wants to dive.
But those spearmen are ready and waiting from earlier, but the Knight manages to slip on by them, gives them a bit of a juke. And right now, those spearmen are getting focused down so effectively. They're just biting the dust, and villagers versus Knights is not a generally advisable matchup right there. Oh, man,
Yeah, well said, Onlu here. It's not looking pretty for Jordan. The Elite Skirms are pushing in. The Knights are finding quite some kills, and it's looking really rough for Jordan here.
Yeah, this is just where having that faster Castle Age time really makes a huge difference. I mean, there was a hole there that was, and on paper, a nice quick wall, but right now, Jordan is just losing so much. And he doesn't really have sort of a next step. Like, sure, what, you're going to make a bunch of camels? Like,
there's a spear, a militia, a scout, and 1 spearman. So now goes for 2 camels, but only 1 stable. All the farms are idle. Look at the work efficiency. Column to the right there. Barely any income for Jordan right now.
Yeah, that is the WELM in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, in case you guys were wondering where we keep on saying that stat comes from. But at this point, it's just, yeah, GG, well played. Hera with a bit of a bop there in game number 1. Just really clean early game, having that food count for the Castle Age, and just go kill him.
And so weird, right? Saved on the farm upgrade, had those farms so super early. So the setup for the long game wasn't really there. But if you win the game before, you didn't even need the upgrade, right? The farms didn't even need to be reseeded. You just won before.
Well, you just need like 10 Elite Skirmishers and 2 Knights, and if your opponent only has like 5 Skirmishers and 2 Spearmen to defend, it really doesn't matter. You can't completely wall that map. You saw that, sure, Jordan was able to wall to the town center, but that doesn't stop a bunch of Knights from running through, and the Skirmishers, yeah, they're slow, but they have a ton of Pierce armor, so they can run under the TC too, and then Jordan, it's like, well, I don't have anything to stop this, and he didn't, so very quick and easy game there for Hera.
Yeah, crazy how the faster Castle Age timing paid off so well. And maybe Jordan, he had a scout there, right? Maybe he could have seen, wow, you're really early on gold. Instead of scouting back in the wood line, could have maybe gone in there, but they were constantly fighting with the skirms in that area, so tricky to scout. Hera, maybe exactly taking that gold and taking that aggression to prevent the scouting from Jordan.
Yeah, we'll have to, if he wins, we'll have to ask him why exactly he went for what he did. And yeah, I mean, it just all worked out for him, of course, there in game number 1. And now we have to see, what is Jordan going to be going for his first home map? I mean, he can pick any of these 4, but most likely going to be picking either Ring of Reeds or Gold Rush.
I would say Ring of Reeds, right? The typical thing, if the game 1 was pretty rocky.
And it was confirmed.
Oh, Ring of Reeds is confirmed? Okay, nice. And then you kind of want to go into a more slow game or something that plays differently, right? Maybe go for water map if you drafted it before. So Ring of Reeds, I think, a pretty strong choice here for him. What do we see? I can see Turks against Burgundians.
Yeah, it could work. It could work. I think Saracens might be a really interesting choice.
If you pick Turks that high and Saracens that low,
Yeah.
don't you want to pick the Civ that you picked earlier? Because where would we see Turks otherwise? Gold Rush? I don't see it. Land Madness in Arabia? I don't see it either.
Yeah, that is fair. Unless you try and do some sort of crazy light cav on Land Madness.
And then Scout into light cav play?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a dreamer.
I am a
Camels
dreamer.
Can be nice.
I'm trying to be creative, man. No, I think that
Ring of Reeds, short rushing distance. The castle can control a lot. Janissary is pretty good as well there. You said it, like, if you build the castle at home, it's going to be pretty tricky. So Jordan controlling that middle area and getting a castle up could be really nice. Therefore, Hera probably wants to prevent that, go for some aggress himself. So maybe even trying to squeeze in Mayans there as an option and play Burgundians on Gold Rush.
yeah, I mean, you do have tons of options. As you guys were saying on the analyst desk, it's a very broad draft. I mean, there are a lot of similar maps. I mean, you have Land Madness, Arabian Sheepfold, all.
I just realized something. There are extra berries on Land Madness. Portuguese are the best civ there. Honestly. No, honestly, Orlando.
Okay,
It
anyone
sounded
in
a bit
chat
mean,
counting the time it took for Nilly to suggest Portuguese after getting on the casting desk again?
It's just like, Portuguese for Land Madness makes so much sense.
I mean,
Honestly.
they have a good stable tech tree. You know, you get 60 food, 60 gold knights in Castle Age.
I think it's honestly an option.
Yeah.
You can expand, you get so much wood for free. I'm starting to like them, yeah. Ooh, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, hello! Oh boy, time to see some peak Age of Empires as Hera immediately killing the scout there of Jordan. We are in Ring of Reeds for game number 2. Hera will be the Blue Burgundians to the north. Jordan going to be the Red Turks to the south. And Nilly, explain to us what's going on.
Well, Jordan wanted to go for the center, but Hera said, okay. Nilly in the intro said I shouldn't really give the center to the Turk players. So he took the boys there and is really going for it. Scout kill there for Hera. And he now needs to think, okay, do I mill in the center or do I give that area for Jordan? Jordan pulled a lot of villages there to the center.
Jordan built the house in the middle, which I think is interesting because that kind of blocks the natural place that you could build a mill yourself. So, and actually, Hera's just building the mill on the outside. That feels like a bit of a mistake. You just don't have as easy access to the deer or to the forage bushes. But still, looks like we are able to live in harmony here in the cornucopia of the center of the map.
Deer went back to Jordan's mill. Look at that. It was pushed
Yeah.
close to Hera's walls already. But now goes left-hand side. Oh, it went through the full cycle. Now Hera can push it again. Wrong direction, Hera. No. Oh, and Jordan gets it. Wood upgrade in Dark Age. That's no bug, my friends. Burgundians get the eco upgrades 1 age earlier, but still have to build houses.
Interesting
Hera's
placement
doing-
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just build it right. Vodka is very approving of that house, clearly. Oh man, that does block a fair amount of farm space. No, we're not poles. We don't build farms around Fullworks. It's just normally build them around the TC. But still, we have both players able to take food from the middle of the map. It seems like we can just progress to the Feudal Age without too many hiccups.
Yeah, but Feudal Age has to be wild, right? Because this area is so important. And I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe even see double archer range play. Yeah, maybe something like Men-at-Arms into a forward tower could also be an option. And we saw, I think, 5 on wood from Hera. Yeah, so I think that's a Men-at-Arm opening, right? Because he really wants to get that barracks up quickly.
Yeah, I think that would be a totally reasonable option. And I feel like if you're in a situation where you're both playing heavy Feudal Age, Burgundians are going to be really happy. Not only do you have like a way better economy than Turks, you can get tons of eco upgrades early on, but it means that Turks aren't just going for fast castle, going for Janissaries, going for a bunch of light cav, monks, that sort of thing. And any time that you're denying the main thing your opponent civ wants to do, I feel like that's a bit of a win. But still, Jordan clicks up to Feudal Age, 21 population, what would normally be 22. Hera, not all that far behind.
That's an archer build by Jordan. He's not going for Men-at-Arms. Scout, yoink.
Oh,
Good job there. And those villagers, not really sure what they are up to. Maybe just get the deer? Is he trying to wall him in? There's still the gate, my friend.
well, yeah, they're just hanging around, about to visit their neighbors.
Just a huddle there.
Oh.
Villagers are being pulled. And Jordan, for him, it's not the worst thing, right? He has 300 food in the bank. It's not bad for him if the villagers aren't working, because he wants to go for archers anyways.
Yeah, that's totally fine for him. He's got the important resource at home, wood, and then a little bit of gold in this instance. Some quick walls coming in. Oh, that guy.
Saved!
Oh, he was saved at the last second there for Hera. Is Jordan going to be so fortunate as the low HP villagers are going to be walking back home? Hera might try and block that woman who's trying to do the juke around the mill. Oh. Oh, you cannot build on the shallows, so once you get to the shallows, you're probably, what are you doing? Don't go back. Are you just going to try and wall them in? Okay.
Oh, Hera gives it up. And he
Yeah.
did not go for man-at-arms. Farm upgrade here. He's playing the long game. He accepts, okay, you will get the center, and I will go to the outside. And barracks here will build more mills, but that's a brilliant spot for Jordan now.
Well, like, now Jordan, he can maybe go with the forward watchtower and then add in those archers. He already has one on the way. But if you just do that and then go up to Castle Age, drop a forward castle, and do that sort of aggression that Turks are so good at, then what is the whole point of your strategy here, Hera? You're just going to sit at the edge of the map and let Turks take the middle? That doesn't really feel that strong. And right now he's just getting his Castle Age eco upgrades as Burgundy's having to delete that house from earlier. A little bit of interesting placement, but Hera's fine. He's adding in lots of farms as we have stone walls coming in for Jordan.
Only stone walls here. And Jordan, honestly, I don't think he needs too many archers. Maybe instantly send them to the outside. He's happy with all those stone walls. And, oh, look at that. Nice awareness. Jordan knows, okay, you will be on the outside. That's the only spot where you get free food. And a brilliant opening game for Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, not really too much to worry about. Yes, he lost the scout early on, was able to get the scout of his opponent. That's a bit of a wash. Has a little bit more idle TC time. It's not too big of a deal. I think he also picked up Town Watch, which is why he is a little bit more than a villager behind. But hey, I mean, you're Jordan, you're stonewalling out your opponent, you have tons of resources in the middle, and that's going to do a nice job at helping make up for the fact that you have a very minor eco bonus as Turks with faster working gold miners versus Burgundians who have one of the best in all of Age of Empires.
And what do those outposts see from Jordan? I think he sees 2 gold spots, one on the outside, one on the main one, that Hera is still not using. Although he can't see the 2 tiles there at the top, but still, Jordan must know, okay, you can't have massive amount of villages on gold, so Jordan kind of knows, okay, you're not really going for archers.
Yeah, as Vodka's pointing out, seeing the gold mines that all have 800 gold on them, all gold mines have 800 gold on them naturally, but there are 2 more, so, well, now you see the guy with the pickaxe working away, and knowing that, okay, at this point, Hera is going to be mining gold, 18 on food, going to be looking towards Castle Age.
Yep. Nice one here. Archers can be annoying, and there's no reaction for Hera. That could be 1-2 dead villagers. Fletching now finishes. Perfect timing for Jordan.
Yeah, and Hera, a bit of an oopsie moment, trying to grab Wheelbarrow. All the eco upgrades are not going to save you from just 3 fletching archers.
Nice block.
Oh.
How did he save that one on, Lu?
By doing the sort of thing that I try in my game, and then I fail, and then like the archers go in and kill all my builds.
Oh, but that's open here. Left-hand side.
No, not anymore.
2 sheep found there. Oh god, that was a crazy quick wall by Hera there. The archer was even intentionally going over there to find the block. Crazy movement there. Hera got out of this one alive, right? If the 3 archers are getting in, I don't want to call it already, but that would have been a massive advantage for Jordan, for sure.
Yeah, huge lead. As it stands, Hera lost 1 villager. I mean, yeah, that's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Hera's eco upgrades are pretty darn crazy at this stage. He's closing in on resources for Castle Age. It's not like Jordan's too far behind. He does have middle control, and that is really helpful. But right now, Hera, yes, he has Burgundian's eco, but he doesn't have access to the shorefish on the outside because of the archers, and because of the stone walls, he can't go to the middle. So Jordan, I have to feel like he should be pretty happy with the current situation.
I love Jordan's position here. He gets all the intel. Look at Jordan's vision, please. I think you should see, like, all of Hera's space. Jordan might actually be a bit scared if we zoom out a bit more. That, like, am I missing something? I'm seeing everything here.
Mm-hmm. And there isn't anything to see. Hera's just making eco upgrades and farms and mining a little bit of gold. It's making some scout cavalry. It's just not the most impressive thing in the world. We do have this watchtower come in for Jordan, going to try and deny some wood income. It could be fine. I think that if he wants to go for the castle drop in early Castle Age, go for some Janissaries, apply a lot of pressure, that sort of thing, I feel like maybe it wouldn't be worth delaying the castle, but it takes away an opponent's wood line.
It also delays Hera's potential extra town centers, right? Although the question is, like, did Hera really want to build extra town centers here? It's a really clumped up area.
Yeah, and one that is very easily pressured by some Janissaries once the castle comes up anyway. But now we have stone mining upgrade coming in for Jordan. Hera himself just getting some cavalry upgrades, likely going to be going for at least some amount of knights in the mid-game.
Is Jordan building another tower? How is his stone solo? Oh, yeah, goes for the woodline over here. Interesting moves. And Hera can't really contest that, right? Left side, yeah, we are defending this, but gold will be a bit tricky. Jordan already has fletching. Now some scouts to get some map control, has armor on it. And I think Hera should get a TC on the outside and free himself.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit of an overcommitment from Jordan. I mean, it's annoying for Hera for sure, but he can still build TCs wherever he needs to. Already took down the forward tower of Jordan, and this just, again, it delays his castle, and that's like the important thing. It trains Janissaries, and it is able to destroy enemy towers with ease, can even maybe start to pressure the town center if you get Bodkin or something like that. But right now, got scouts running around on the backside. Don't think they're going to find a whole lot, but I mean, Hera's taken minimal damage.
Oh no, you are good at counting. Is that TC reaching the tower? 6 range for a town center.
It's actually slightly longer than 6 range, but
I think so as well. Yeah. Villagers getting microed. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Oh, goddy.
And, well, you know what? Jordan just buying a bit of stone. At the end of the day, it's not too big of an issue. Dropping the forward castle right here. And this is an uncomfortable spot for Hera. Now, I believe with getting like 2 knights out, he can just clean up all the archers and then expand out on the map, like the sort of dynamic we were talking about at the early stages of the game. But right now, it's just you're having to abandon a lot of farming economy. You have town centers that are going to be pressured very shortly by Jordan. And yeah, see what Hera has in store.
I don't really see good options here. The archers wisely went back, therefore Hera can't really annoy the walls either. Now we see Hera go for, what is that, a town center there at the top?
Market.
Market. What are we doing with the market?
Buying and selling resources.
Okay, thank you for that.
Anytime.
I'm really surprised here. I think Jordan can just easily control this area. And soon Hera, he needs to expand to the outside. Yeah, the map is good at expanding to the outside, but there's not a lot of gold or stone.
Not much at all. We do have the 3rd TC coming in for Hera, as the 2nd one is for Jordan. So both players are expanding their economies a little bit. As we would expect, Hera is ahead in that regard. But now the Janissaries can come out. We have a defensive watchtower. Yep. Yes, it is coming in. The Janissaries might poke away at the villagers a little bit, but even these cavalry units maybe can push the Janissaries far enough away that Jordan's going to be able to defend himself for the time being.
Oh, and Hera will be so focused on juggling villagers there. Goes in with the cavalry now. Castle's helping out a bit. Could maybe lose something. Wants to dive there, but Jordan, perfect movement there with his Janissaries.
Yeah, that was very nicely done. And actually, Hera himself didn't lose a single unit. So,
crazy.
Yeah, both players are pretty good with their unit control so far. And, I mean, as it stands, the villager count's even. Hera with a little bit of idle TC time, but at the end of the day, Hera is expanding his economy, and if he can get to a decent Imperial Age time, I feel like he totally has a shot.
Stone count of Jordan, though, my friend. 200 stone away from building another castle, and that one could be close to the gold. Therefore, both town centers basically dead. All the farms are gone, and then Jordan can raid wherever. Just go through the center.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that in the last set between ACCM and the Viper, where ACCM built the castles in the middle and just sort of cut off some of Viper's economy. But right now, Hera has at least something of an army. He's got 2 knights and 3 scouts, and is mining a ton of stone himself. Could be looking to go for some Bustier in this matchup.
Are they that great against Janissaries, though? Villagers now being sent forward. Some low HP ones, especially against the tower, something that I kind of question here. I don't think you can build a 2. Oh! Beautiful blacksmith to block the castle.
Wait, why did you cancel it?
What?
What? Why did you cancel it?
No!
No, Hera!
Oh, it was the perfect play,
that
Hera!
was so beautiful! Oh, man. Oh. The blacksmith that never was.
Yeah, well, it was for a small moment.
Yeah.
It was the perfect block.
It was so well done. Oh, man. Well, Jordan, at the end of the day, is getting this castle up. It is easily in range of 2 town centers. And, I mean, that's, what, 90% of Hera's farms that are currently being idled by this?
There's lots of shawfish on the outside. Now the question is, are you imping here if you're Jordan? Are you trying to go with your Janissaries on the outside? Are you trying to push through the center? It's not an easy decision now.
It really isn't, because Imperial Age, at the best situation, it takes time to get to, and that's time where Hera is going to be growing his economy massively. But Jordan is saying, okay, let's take a bit of a more economic approach. Let's not be too all in. Adding in the additional town centers, his eco will be a bit worse than Hera's, as Hera's been just more intensively booming. But at the same time, it's going to be good enough, and he has brilliant map control.
It's absolutely solid, right? Oh, he's only 5 villages behind. Yeah, we are a solid 4 eco upgrades behind, so the income will be way higher for Hera. But honestly, Jordan had a pretty solid boom for how aggressively he has been playing.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that if you can go for that forward aggression and still have a solid economy behind it, it's often better than just going for the full YOLO play. Jordan coming in with some more towers, interestingly. I wonder if Guard Tower might be a decent option against the Janissaries. He already got Fletching.
Yeah, get Botkin in there, maybe get Ballistics, certainly some options here. TC number 5 is that, right? So Hera really wants to boom, obviously knows that he will likely lose 2 TCs at the front at some point.
Yeah, so it's really just making sure that your villager count is where it needs to be. You don't want to be on 1 TC for a little while. Jordan's on 3, then he catches up economically. Hera just sort of maintaining his position as far as that goes. Got Wheelbarrow on the way now for Jordan. So he is at least focused enough on his economy. He's got actually 29 villagers on food right now. I'm really enjoying Jordan's approach in this game.
Yeah. TC 6 now for Hera as well. Remember, it's kind of like in the future it's going to be TC 4, but now all the food ran dry. In the center, Jordan goes for the wood there. I think it's time for the market and time for him, my friend.
Yep, I think that you could honestly consider selling stone. I know that sounds kind of weird in the situation, but Imperial Age is just so important. Getting those bombard cannons out as the Turks, as soon as Imperial Age comes in with the free chemistry upgrade, I feel like it's just such a powerful timing. And thank you for listening to me, Jordan.
Crazy there. The awareness that the faster imp is more important than stone. Well, if you think about Turks, stone is such an important resource. But the imp timing is so much better. We'll deal with more of those castles. You instantly can get bombard cannons as well. Can continue with the pressure. Jordan, he is playing this one close to an all-in, but I think you will find lots of kills through the center here.
It looks all in relative to Hera's enormous economy, but it's still a pretty decent eco. I mean, Jordan's going to be at, like, what, 80-ish villagers or so by the time he hits Imperial Age? That's not too bad. And if he's getting some kills on the outside, he's going to have enough to get some bombard cannons out, continue some Janissary production. And now Hera with his own defensive castle. I mean, the Coustier, they're great if they can run down the Janissaries and do a bunch of their charge bonus damage, but it's not that easy, especially in lower numbers.
Yeah, trying to get in there. Janissaries kill them on the way, getting over there. And you see now Jordan is back with production there for the Janissary. Stayed at 7 for a very long time till he could click up to him. Now the next steps that we want to see is probably Siege Workshop in the center, build 2 traps, and Hera will lose a lot of ground here, and that's where we see the Siege Workshop.
Absolutely perfect. Of course, the nice thing with Turks and their bombard cannons is that you don't actually need to stop your Janissary production to get that long-range siege unit. So Jordan's building a nice little suburb there at the east side of the map for his town. Obviously, there's not too much building room there in the middle. But right now, Jordan is starting to spread his arms across the map, so to say. And if he can just keep Jordan running around, I feel like he still has a pretty nice shot in this game. He's got around 110 vills.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But obviously, they constantly need to run. Janissaries doing some harassment at the right side, going to do some harassment through the center. Now we see husbandry for the Costiers coming in as well. Not sure how much they will achieve. And I think Jordan's next step could maybe be get some more vision on the left-hand side. Maybe get some outposts over there, for example.
Yeah, I really wouldn't hate that idea at all, just because you know you control the most important part of the map, the part of the map that has the most resources. So, like, what is your opponent doing? It's probably not just, sitting around doing nothing. So think of where Hera could
against
be.
the Janissaries at the right
side. Yes. Looks like some units
to micro against them.
And oh man, those guys are so strong. Having the super high charge attack on a 40-second or so cooldown.
Ooh, but solid positioning by Jordan.
Getting to that nice little nook right there. But all of the Jannies are cleaned up. Hera's like, you know what we don't have enough of in this game? Town centers.
Well, he will lose more, right? The one at the left side already in danger here. The castle's likely to go down as well. Jordan continues with Janissaries, though. Now goes for some Hussars. That obviously could be a great unit to raid.
Yeah, of course. It gives you the one thing that you're lacking in this army composition for Jordan. That's just any sort of mobility. Oh, no lucky dice on the conversion. It looks like the monk on the other side is going to be taken down as well. 50 villagers more for Hera, but he's just in such an awkward spot and behind in the tech.
50% more income right now for our Canadian score. Pretty close. And Hera, he's heavily committing on to Castle Age. Now goes for lots of Light Cav. Obviously, Light Cav not the craziest unit there against the Janissaries. Remember, we don't get Bloodlines, so not the craziest in the HP department.
Not quite indeed. We have some eco upgrades now coming in for Jordan, and I really like his approach in that he's doing the right, like he's getting all of his important timings. He's getting to Imperial Age way ahead of his opponent. He's getting the castle forward, but he's not neglecting his economy behind this. Like, it's still a pretty good eco. It's not like he's doing this on 50 villagers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that allows him to mix in Camel here, maybe some Hussars as well. Janissary numbers are still looking pretty solid. I still would have loved to see 1 or maybe 2 traps.
Yeah.
Just to pressure this castle a bit earlier. But yeah, that gold is taken away now. And Hera, I'm not sure how much gold he will control in like 1-2 minutes.
Not a whole lot for sure. I mean, you can, I suppose, take the bit on the outside, as we are seeing on both the left and right side of the map. You can even maybe try and sneak in Burgundian Vineyards after you click Imperial Age if you can keep the castle alive long enough, as you can just get a bit more guaranteed gold income that way. He has 1 relic. But, I mean, these are all scraping for, like, the tiniest little bits of gold income as Jordan is just continuing to press forward.
Oh, that's going to be interesting now. Camels, the counter here to the Light Cav. Costiers are coming in. This is the big charge. Jordan needs to save his bombard cannons. He misclicked on the gate. Ooh, wasn't punished for it.
Villagers are going to need to run away just a little bit, but I mean, like, Hera's still ahead by 40 population in this game, and he's keeping the castle alive for the time being. He's making tons of light cav, and now we have Jordan actually going to be switching over into the heavy camels. I mean, it makes sense versus all of those cavalry units, but it is going to slow things down just a little bit, and Hera is buying that critical time.
It's important that Hera stops villager production. He's at 150 soon, and 50 army. You need to break the army of Jordan there, and that's going to be tricky, right? The moment we get onto like 10 heavy camels, you need more than 50 military to break that.
Especially if most of that military is in the form of light cav, which is, 29 to 16 or so. We have a few more Costiers on the way, but yeah, I mean, Jordan is still in a strong spot to apply pressure. I like the castle at the back. Another forward castle. It feels like that's a situation of rapidly diminishing returns. But you need to make sure you don't get raided to death on the other side, and that's what that castle's going to do, especially if it lets you have more of your camels here at the front.
Does Hera know about the camel switch? He shouldn't have any vision in the back here, right?
I doubt it.
He has no idea. And this could be, he could be diving in, and suddenly 18 heavy camels are arriving. Hera has no idea.
Nope. That castle will be up in time by the looks of things. Jordan has that really important heavy camel upgrade.
The shadows, my friend. Brilliant by Jordan.
The deadliest camel is the one you can't see.
And now he sends them forward. Knows, okay, it's very likely that the attack's coming in, and indeed it is.
Hera deciding that now is the time to die. Okay, no reason for Hera to take that fight right now. He has stone that he can still repair with for a little bit. He can get his Imperial Age upgrades. You can see chemistry coming in right now. Hera has his own very strong gunpowder as the Burgundians. But as the game goes on, as Jordan gets closer and closer to his own 200 population, things are going to be looking better. And Hera, I don't know about this, Nilly.
Oh, Camel so good against this. I don't think Hera can take this engagement. 3 bombards now, and Jordan even wants to jump. I don't think this is really necessary. This is a deep dive.
It's a huge committal right now for Hera. The bombard cannons are still alive. They even brought a friend to the party. Going to continue to apply pressure. The camels can even whittle away at some of the villagers, and those heavy camels are so good against cavalry. Hera's military units are dropping, but the button was pressed. Oh,
we have
no.
176 military on the field, my friends. Every single villager turned into Flemish militia here, and this is all the army now being sent forward. We don't have any siege to support this, though. 2 traps traps in the queue now.
I love Jordan's expression. It's just like frown at Flemish Revolution. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is a huge army for Hera, but it's so all in. This really feels like a Hail Mary play.
Everything sent through the center.
Everything's going through the middle. It's just going to be running into the meat grinder at this point. If you're going for Flemish Revolution, you need to have siege behind it. Otherwise, you're going to just die to castles. And right now, the castles are kind of going to be killing everything.
But we had 40 camels. Now we are down to 11. So if we get some cavalry again, that's pretty solid. Jordan needs to re-wall that area, and then he wins the game. But he's rather going for a third castle. Maybe some more awareness could have been nice here, because that push is still continuing. But Jordan has now a 30 population lead.
Yeah, and that is only going to be climbing so far as those poor Flemish militia. It looks like a tower defense game right now with just all of the enemy units running through the gauntlet. Oh, man. Yeah, like, it looks really scary, but there is just no follow-up to this. Hera has 8 villagers on food.
Oh, 2 traps. 2 more in the queue, my friend. Yeah. There's still lots of military. Yeah, we are down to 110. The castle is going up, but Jordan will lose lots of control over the center area.
He's at least able to replenish his villager count slowly. The Flemish militia are diving in here. Remember, guys, they are basically champions that also get bonus damage versus cavalry, so they are strong units. And there's 1 castle down, several more to go, but right now, Hera is still kind of falling behind a little bit in terms of population.
Jordan, the head shake. I don't think he realizes that he's still pretty fine in this game. Janissary count is pretty low. Don't tell me Jordan is resigning this one. It's still looking okay if he defends this. Villager count is heavily in his favor.
Jordan, don't you dare resign this game right now. You are in an okay position. You just need to keep on hanging in there. We got Bodkin on the way right now. I feel like that could have maybe been in a little bit sooner. Some Janissaries and a Bombard Ken here. If you can just delay those castles from being destroyed, that is exactly what you want to be doing, as we don't really have the ability for Hera to just take down all of those important buildings. Jordan, just run away with your villagers, man. It doesn't matter if you lost, like, you know, the 60. You still have way more than your opponent. And Jordan, oh man, these populations are getting a little worryingly close, Nilly.
Oh yeah, pretty nice move here by Hera for sure, but traps are going down. Janissaries at the front are looking pretty solid again. Some more villages for the repair are coming over. This score is getting really close, and population even closer.
It really is, but Hera is really running out of steam, as he's got down to 33 Flemish militia. He's got 40 villagers. Yeah, sure, Jordan's only at 86, and most of them are idle, but still, he's hanging in there. And Hera has absolutely no follow-up to this militarily. He has to spend all of his food on more villagers right now.
And losing 4 traps just really hurt. Only 30 Flemish militia are still left there. Corsairs are trying to dive. Still solid damage output, but Corsairs are dying to the Janissaries. Oh. Nice save by Jordan.
That was absolutely critical. It allows him to keep the pressure onto Hera, keep that timer, so to say. And yeah, those Flemish militia are eventually going to be dying. Jordan is at 90 villagers. They are getting back to work. He's adding in another town center. I mean, still, Hera has tons of town centers, and he's even on 47 villagers himself right now, but you just can't really afford that much in terms of army. I mean, the Coustiers are pretty cheap. They're only 55 food, 55 gold, but it's just going to be a matter of production, and Hera only has the 1 castle.
He has 5 town centers. He's actually back to reasonable numbers, above 50 villagers. How does he have more than 30 on food already again? That's just a crazy boom by Hera, and crazy macro while he had 170 army.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild, just sending everybody forward when he needed to. And now Jordan falling back just a little bit. He's added in a few more camels. And, you know, Jordan himself is close to 100 villagers once again. The Flemish militia in the back are still not actually dealt with, nor are the ones in the middle. But the Janissaries will mow them down eventually.
24 still left. Remember, for Burgundians, relics are not only creating or generating gold, but also food. So Hera having 3 of those actually helped him quite a bit with his production.
Yeah, those are just really helpful when you're in the low eco situation. Just having that little bit of extra food income can make a huge difference. But right now, Hera is still a little bit ahead as far as the score goes. That castle was an interesting choice. That will have to be waiting for another time. Oh, man. I mean, at least Hera is still running around. He's still at least a force in this game right now. And honestly, the Flemish Revolution worked out way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I think if Jordan just had those walls, closing everything off, the game instantly ends there. Because of the Flemish Revolution, the Flemish militia needed to go through there, the only option to still do damage, because Hera was lacking that siege at that point. But this way, like, Jordan, if he is like a bit more sloppy with his Janissaries, he could have lost the game there.
That was a really sloppy fight. That was just letting the camels fight the Flemish militia, which is the last thing you want to be doing.
Emissaries arriving a bit late, but the castle went up here. Jordan has a strong economy again. But look at Hera. He might be reaching over 100 villages pretty soon as well.
Well, he has the town centers to do that. And we've got now tons of Coustier also being trained. Actually, the hand cannoneer switch is what is next on the table. I'm not too sure about this. They don't...
HP-wise, you're so far behind. Range-wise, you're behind. It's going to be a pretty tricky task. It's just so much tougher to mic with them against Janissaries that kind of shoot on their own.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky for sure. We now have the castle on the right side pressuring the town centers of Hera. Jordan, I don't think he needs to ease up on the throttle too much. He has another bombard cannon on the way. I still think it's important to keep on pressuring Hera. You don't want to just let him get back up to 140 plus villagers and just not give him the time he needs, because Hera, he's going to run out of gold sooner rather than later. He still hasn't secured his main gold. He has the one that is in the sort of the upper center of your screen, but that is going to be... this guy's got a little bit of gold left, but not too much more.
What happened to all the bombards of Jordan? Didn't he just have to? Did he lose them in the center against Costiers?
Yeah, I think so.
Ay. Gold now trying to be taken. Still, like, not a lot of vision on the left side by either player here, right? Some more blue dots there. Bombard cannon shot still misses. Jordan, I don't think he has artillery.
I don't think so either. It is a pretty expensive upgrade. Yep, we were just at the 12 range, not the 14. Villagers just being ferried through the castle.
Look at Hera's population. What are we witnessing? Is this guy that good?
He might be that good.
This was a lost game for him.
It really was.
He had no business being this deep in this game.
That's Flemish Revolution for you. It is the button for a reason. Now, plate barding armor coming in for Jordan. And to his credit, he has 65 on food right now. That is going to be nice for a fledgling Hussar production.
And no good answer there for Hera. He still has 15 Flemish militia on the field, but goes for light cav now. Hand cannoneers not crazy. And those Hussars, they will find some kills against the hand cannoneers.
Yep, getting that extra pierce armor might help out a little bit. Yes, Hera's population is still climbing, but Jordan is the one who has the map control. Importantly, he has just the resources in the middle. It doesn't really matter that much being on the outside. And yet, Hera, he's got strong bombard cannons as the Burgundians. You get that extra damage.
Weren't we just pop 60 against pop 70?
Yeah,
like 5 minutes ago? And now we're both at pop 200?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
A pretty darn great game of Age of Empires, if I say so myself. Got Iron Casting now coming in here for Jordan. Nice split there on the Janissaries. You have to be just really careful versus those stronger bombard cannons. And yeah, more Hussars coming in. Now players are starting to raid, and this is just looking like the Flemish Revolution never happened. They're just kind of getting into a pretty normal late game.
Yeah, well, there's still some scars. Still some Flemish militia left trying to tell the stories of the old fights. Janissaries pretty good at sniping bombard cannons, jumping out there, long distance, but get away from the hand cannoneers. Ooh, scratching them a bit. Really would love to see some bombard cannon dance out of Jordan, but he's down to 0 bombard cannons again. Lost his bombard cannons again.
Has to be really careful. He has no relics, and I mean, the gold in the middle isn't going to last forever, but that is a big and scary army right here for Jordan. Those bombard cannons have to run away for Hera. He's got a ton of camels here. He's got some Hussars. The Flemish militia are in pretty low numbers, like you were saying. I don't really see the need to just not kill the bombard cannons. That is...
Survive with both. What? Hera's so good at this game. Save those. Now the camels trying to make something happen there. Trying to clear up the raid in the back. And that could be some dead villagers there for sure. And surprisingly enough, Hera only lost 23 villagers this game.
Yeah, man.
Sick.
It's pretty wild all around. And I feel like Jordan also missed a bit of an opportunity not patrolling and instead just on move command. Still, those are some very pretty raids on the right side. Can't fault him for that one. Hera's still having to train a ton of villagers. He only is on 42 farmers. That's like at least 75 less than Hera normally likes to have at this stage in the game. And this is a tricky spot for him still. I mean, he was given a second chance because of Flemish Revolution, but right now Jordan is getting these raids done that he needs
Full
to.
control. Yeah, you can see that Hera has nothing going into the direction of Jordan right now. Still couldn't afford Hassa, makes it really tricky. Only 8 villages on gold. Invests a lot into hand cannons. I think going for Hassa first might have been an option there for him instead of committing into hand cannons that heavily or bombard cannons in danger.
Yes, they are. We still have the Hussars trying to kill them. Now, they don't have Blast Furnace, which is a really important upgrade for Hussars because they have such low base attack. You have to be careful not to run into those choke points like that if you are Jordan. And right now, Hera has actually amassed a pretty decent army. He's got 23 hand cannoneers. He's got more light cav on the way. He's even starting to mine some of his own main gold again, which feels pretty wild.
Jordan still has the proper, the brilliant position there in the center. Hassa ratings are really finding something now. Didn't I just say he only lost 23 villagers? Now we are close to 50, so Jordan really finding the damage in the last 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, but Jordan also lost that castle on the right side to a bombard cannon, which really feels a little unnecessary. That castle was so helpful in just like putting a stranglehold on Hera this game, who's now continuing to expand to the western portion of the map. Added another TC over here. He's adding in more farms. Yes, it's still pretty exposed. But, I mean, Hera's trying to find ways to come back in this game. He's not giving this one up.
Oh, brilliant moves here for sure. More Hassas going to the left-hand side. Janissary is pretty safe. Tries to go for the main gold of Hera now. Janissary is trying to protect that. Trap trying to fight this one off. Both players pop limit. This game is far from over, my friend.
And this is just such a fantastic game. And I do love this map. I feel like you can just get so many interesting situations on them, this being one of them. Now we have artillery coming in for Jordan. That's going to give him that extra range on those bombard cannons that he really does need. And Hera, I mean, now he's looking at 38 plus idle villagers. That's going to make it just that much more difficult to afford light cav, of which he only has like 1 on the way. Still no Hussar upgrade. And look at this, more and more raids here from Jordan.
73 farmers now for our Turk player, and that's why he can afford all those Hussars raiding over and over again. And just feels like so many fires Hera constantly needs to put out.
Yep, bombard cannons now starting to apply pressure again. Hera's just trying to send units back to where he needs to deal with all of these raids, but Jordan is just unrelenting. He's getting that important blast furnace upgrade. Oh, hand cannoneers, of course, need to be very careful, but they do pack a punch, and GG is called.
Ooh.
That was a pretty good game, Nelly.
That was a pretty good game for sure. And I said I wanted to see Arena. This one might have been even better, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ring of Reeds was originally an RMS Cup, and when I first saw the map, I'm like, this is really cool. And I'm glad I had the chance to make it in this tournament. And just another really fantastic game there. Jordan pushing up through the middle, Hera trying to expand, the big pushback with Flemish Revolution, but ultimately Jordan able to close that one out.
Flemish Revolution, holy moly. 176 military units there, and like so much pushing in. Jordan, you saw how he was shaking his head, right? He was. I was really scared that he was about to resign.
I was too.
Oh man, but he kept his composure, came back, went from like pop 200, like full control, everything, down to like 80 population or something, like 90. That was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, Hera really found the damage. Did he have the extra damage against buildings there?
With Arson?
Yeah.
I think he picked up Arson. I know he picked up Blast Furnace really early to maximize his damage, so... Yeah, I mean, Hera did everything he could to come back in that game.
Yeah, the TCs went down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Phew, crazy game. And a 1-1. Great set so far, mainly because of the last game, I have to say.
You mean exclusively because of the last game?
Oh, I have so many good emotions about this set. So I called it like, oh, great series so far. And then I saw, okay, Sheepfold wasn't that good of a game. Ring of Reeds certainly made up for it.
Oh, yeah.
And Madness and Arabia, still the home maps here for Hera. He could technically also pick Gold Rush. But I think just a good old Land Madness and go for some scouts is something what Hera...
Pick Land Madness, pick Franks, something profit.
I think it's Land Madness Portuguese, actually.
Okay.
I'm dreaming. And Gold Rush...
Would you like another cask of your copium?
Gold Rush, maybe Mayans there, and Franks for Arabia is something I could see. Maybe Aztecs on Gold Rush, or you said Tatars, right?
Yeah, I think Tatars.
Then maybe Aztecs or Lithuanians could be something for Land Madness, and Aztecs for Arabia. Yeah. Certainly something I could see.
Kind of like Lithuanians for Land Madness. You have the faster moving spearmen, which would be really helpful, and you just get off to the fast start with your extra food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Certainly something I could see. Gold Rush, Mayans against Tatars. We would have seen that one earlier today. We, I think, have to give the advantage there for Mayans, but I don't think that we will see Gold Rush now. It feels like Land Madness should be the one coming up, right?
Yeah, I think that makes all the sense in the world. If Hera's in a situation where, okay, it goes to the decider game 5, go play out on Arabia, and just Hera, I'm sure, is confident that he's the better player in this situation.
I think so. Like he's so confident on that one, right? It was constantly his home map together with Atacama on all the Vololos, and also like whenever we had that typical random map tournaments, he tried to go for it. He loves the aggression, impossible to wall, and it just like, yeah, it's like constant aggression, and he's so good at microing multiple groups of scouts. Probably the best.
And we just got confirmation that it will be Land Madness as the next map, so right on there with the predictions, and we'll have to see. Are we going to see the Portuguese Land Madness?
I say Portuguese Lithuanians.
Have an entire village built of forage bush twigs.
It is like multiple bushes of 4, right?
I think so. And you have the one extra near your town center.
Oh, well, that's so smooth then. I think it's a really good map for Portuguese then. Although, well, Franks, you get every bush bonus as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But Franks just feels natural in Sheepfold as well. I think it's not the biggest difference.
Yeah.
But wild prediction, I don't think we will see Vietnamese.
It is unfortunate. I do love Vietnamese.
Maybe as a counter to Tatars? Or do you think Mayans are just performing better?
I mean, I don't like saying no to like 50 imp skirms just hanging around in the center of the map.
Okay, Jordan, still smiling, has to be happy about the last game. Strategically played this one so well with the early villager fight, and then the wall-in Janissary mass did so well, all the map control, and yeah, jumping into the game pretty soon. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that they have the like big victory, Jordan.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that in the last set. Yeah, it looks really cool. I love all the graphics we have on the stage here.
Yeah, nice. And jumping into game 3.
All right, guys, here we are in Land Madness. Jordan. Oh boy, this is Hera's home map. He will be the blue Franks to the west of the map. This is about as on brand as we can get for this player. The person who is doing something a bit spicy here is going to be Jordan as the red Saracens over here to the east. The Saracens are just a civ that we associate more with closed maps, or at least ones where you can like wall and go for a fast castle with your market.
Is it maybe? Like 2, 3 archers, 1 spearman, into fast market, into camels. Is camel the play here against Franks?
You do get an extra 10 HP as the Saracens, so your camels are quite strong. I mean, if that's the play, that'd be pretty awesome.
And you know that Hera loves his cavalry, right? So it could be into the direction of a counter. But then again, why didn't we pick Gojaras, for example, where we feel like the opening could have been even better?
Because Nilly, Jordan wants to go for mass Mamelukes in the late game.
Oh,
because Franks have 0 answers to Mamelukes.
Oh, yeah.
I dream.
This would be so good. Look at that, all those pretty berries. Franks will really love that. Look at that. I can see 2 mills there at the front. Jordan, pretty good spot for him that he has both of his berry bushes in the back. Gold rather on the aggressive side, though.
Yeah, that is definitely less than ideal, but still, I feel like Jordan can't be too unhappy with his map. You already see the lumber camp over in the back of his base. I can build another one on the right as well. That isn't too much of an issue. Maybe expand with some town centers up there to the north.
You saw how Vodka just showed some potential walls, like to the edge of the map, to the gold, and down there. And that gives you some protection. Around those woodlands, you see the stony area. We cannot build them that one. Therefore, we typically see this one as one of the most aggressive maps. And Hera has to be pretty happy with how close this woodland is to his starting town center.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice one, especially just given that it's Land Madness. We're looking at probably around an 18 pop uptime with the Franks, especially considering that we have the settings with the 9 villager start. That makes tons of sense. And there we go. Feudal Age is on the way nice and quick here for Hera. Jordan, do you think he's going to be opening scouts, or like you were saying, is it going to be a bit more of the Spearman Archer play?
I don't think he will open scouts. I think it's going to be Archer, Spearman. He didn't really scout Hera yet, right? If he scouts Hera and sees like how close he is, maybe he would adjust his strategy a bit more and can see like, oh god, it's going to be really tricky to find too many kills on your woodline.
Yeah, that definitely could be the case. And there's Feudal Age going to be queued up right after Loom. It's going to be 20 pop up here for Jordan. And we already have a villager for him going over to the gold, so that is certainly indicative of some archer play. I don't think men-at-arms are going to be all that likely on this map in this situation. Hera's up way too fast, is going to have scouts out in the very near future.
Get that villager in the wood line. It's like me in a group project.
Oh.
Only doing something when people are watching.
Feels
Idle
really
before.
Well, we have these quick walls coming up on the wood line. Those are pretty easy to do on Lad Madness. The wood lines are rather uniform in shape, but Hera's still going to be able to take great map control with those scouts, and it's
Sheep,
of course.
maybe? Okay, nice. John will take those.
Will he order those sheep back home?
Yeah, he will. Oh, look at how he splits them.
Oh, that's cute.
Interesting. Okay.
Because, like, doing just off of the direct path, I think that's a clever little move.
Yeah. More unlike the Terra will find both of them. Now the stable opening here, we saw Jordan with 3 on gold. Wouldn't be surprised to even see a tower at his gold at some point, right? It is the most exposed area here for sure, and still has some food. So enough wood. Only 8 on wood there for the archer player. It's going to be tricky. I think he needs to go on stragglers quite a bit.
Yeah, that does feel a little bit off. I mean, those palisade walls can be a little bit expensive, especially after a few patches ago, but still has some pigs to take. He has enough for the archery range. No spearmen coming out just yet, but I guess he feels like he just doesn't need them if everything's walled.
What will Hera find? I think Hera will need to go for an archer range himself, has to add some skirmishes. Very likely that he also has to go for a blacksmith, so not the shortest feudal age for Hera. He can't just go for castle age, go for knights. The pressure will be too much there out of Jordan's.
Well, we'll have to see. We have some archers on the way. Do you think this is the sort of game where we would see 2 archery ranges?
Wait. Did Hera not scout Jordan yet? Can we show the POV of Hera? Oh! Okay, hello! Okay, someone was really greedy pushing some deer. But look at that! Here's the perfect scouting!
Yeah, sees the market like right at the perfect time. Oh my goodness, that is about as good as it gets.
Ay. Runs into it, spearman hit. Nope. When are you moving out? How many archers are you waiting for?
I think you're waiting for however many it takes until you have fletching. I don't think you run out of the map without fletching archers versus Frank scouts that have the extra 9 HP.
Well, he will never engage into two spearmen anyways, right? If you have 2 spearmen, 2 archers, Hera shouldn't jump.
If Hera has like 7 or 8 scouts,
well, yeah, obviously, but then you continue to reinforce with more spearmen. Now now Jordan has 3, and now he moves out.
Okay, yeah.
1 archer only, yeah. Or 2 archers. Is that 2 archers? 3 spearmen? Yeah.
Yes.
That's tough to engage into, even if you have Frank scouts.
Yeah, they do take 1 extra hit to be killed compared to generic scouts. But we have now the archery range coming in for Hera, so just a few skirmishers shouldn't be too much of an issue for him. And notably, we don't even have fletching in for Jordan. He's mined a fair amount of gold, already sold his stone.
Last castle behind this. The camel play. Interesting. Doesn't go the direct way. Scout shouldn't lose any HP. That's the hero scout that we really need against the skirmishes. Really unfortunate for him. Won't really do too much against the skirms. And it feels like Hera should have a pretty easy cleanup because Jordan didn't take the direct route. And therefore, Hera has so much more time.
Yeah, he's got 6 scouts right now. Got some skirmishers coming in. And if you can focus down the spearmen in the fight, that is going to be the absolutely critical thing here for Hera. It's just because spearmen attacking cavalry is just way more damage than anything else in the feudal age. So
look at the in-game score, 1,300, dropping down to 1,200 for Jordan here, indicating that he just invested 1,000 resources away. And if Hera looked at the same time, he knows, okay, my opponent's now up on the way to Castle Age. I need to make something happen.
Yeah, this could be a really strong play here for Jordan. Notably, he only has 8 villagers on food, 4 on gold right now, a lot on wood. We were thinking that camels probably make a lot of sense given that it's Saracens versus Franks, but maybe Jordan wants to play this more archer side.
Oh, that army's actually coming in. Oh no, he splits off 1 scout. Oh, that's so good for Jordan.
It's good for Jordan, Hera going in the wrong direction a little bit, but I still love Hera just really spreading out everywhere, looking for the units as best he could. But now these archers are showing up. They don't have fletching. Maybe a villager's going to go down, which is certainly nice for Jordan, but I don't really see these units too long for this world.
What is stretching? Do you try to commit here and try to kill 1 villager?
I think I would rather see Jordan just kind of poke around a little bit. It's still enough spearmen that you don't want to fight without the skirmishers, and the most important thing for Jordan to do right now is just buy time for Castle Age, so he can attack with some knights and camels and stuff.
It's only 50 seconds away. Scout goes for the skirmishes. 3 spearmen losing some HP. Now Hera takes the hill and will take the engagement. No, just runs away.
Interesting. Well, now the spearmen are attacking the skirmishers, not...
Really low.
Yeah.
Hera can jump. But look at that. Now let's take a look at Hera's face. How impressed will he be that his opponent is already in Castle Age?
Well, we will see. There's the second stable, so it will be for some of those nice Saracen camels with their extra HP. Castle Age is in. You saw Hera's eyes dart to the side of his screen there for a second, like, oh, hey, he's in Castle Age.
Let's wall up.
Yep, and that will be a necessary move. It will be some knights here from Jordan. I don't hate this, actually. Thinking Saracens versus Franks, you know, probably make knights, camels versus knights in the mid game. But since Hera is still in the feudal age, knights are just the stronger unit by far and represent a lot more offensive potential. So make knights until you have to make camels.
I really like how Jordan is playing this one. This is creative. This is tough to counter. This is not easy to deal with. It's so easy to screw up against it. That's something that I always said. Jordan is not known for this, right? And I love that he's mixing this one in. I think he really grew.
Yeah, and you know, the character arc is getting complete here for Jordan in his Phoenix rebirth.
Look at that. That's not finished, my friend.
Oh, and it can't be because it's land madness.
Gold could be still open in the back. No overchop there. Hera, oh, it's so easy to make a mistake here.
It is, but Hera's not known for making a ton of those. Quick walls are continuing. Well,
It's in against one spearman.
Oh, this could be really tricky right now. Jordan probably needed to focus on the spearmen just a little bit. They still deal a fair amount of damage to knights, but one villager now down for Hera. He's still a minute 55 from the Castle Age, nearly. That is not that is not in the very near future, as these knights are actively killing villagers.
Oh, so good. Finds more and more kills. Another knight arrives, and that one is full HP. Brilliant move by Jordan here. Meanwhile, I don't think those scouts found too much damage.
Not really, as we have Hera at -4 villagers in the Eco KD. Jordan's still applying pressure, and this is just a brilliant utilization of a bit of an off-meta Civ, and just playing it to its strength with that market bonus.
And his last pick, right now the knights are diving in again. Low knights at the bottom. The high knights are going for the attack. Nice quick walls by Hera. Tries to scare them away.
Yep, applying pressure to the house. Scouts are now back. They're still going to be pretty bad against knights. The spearmen are going to be a little bit better, but not especially impressive. And behind this, Jordan is actually still just making knights. So he doesn't really have a follow-up to this at this point, but that is some very nice unit control. Look at those spearmen going down with barely getting any damage done.
Nice.
Good.
Spearman count is at 2 right now. This is like the full knight flood. And Hera, he barely has gold. What are you going for? Monastery? Pikemen? Knights? He goes for 1 knight and a monastery, but that's not a lot of gold income.
It's really not. 3 villagers on gold does not feel sufficient right there. Jordan, way more in the bank. Of course, he will be using it to buy food, most likely. Knights still applying pressure, but to be fair, Hera has only lost 4 villagers. I mean, it's bad, but...
Let's take a look if that increases. Monk could now pop, trying to go for the spearman, but really nice defense there by Hera. Maybe a Cav Archer could have been a brilliant unit. What do you think?
I wouldn't hate it. I mean, he didn't get fletching. I don't even know if he has a blacksmith, but he is still trying to apply pressure. We have a camel now coming in. Oh, nicely done right there. You don't want to be losing all of those villagers on the forage bushes. But the villager count, speaking of which, it's even. Hera has 3 seconds idle TC time.
Army value, though. Double for Jordan, and those skirms, I'm not even sure if they should be counted. Now going for the wood line, and if villagers are trying to repair this one, that's a bit more tricky. Monk only now popping. Let's see about the conversion there.
Yeah, this could be absolutely critical. I think I would want to go for the camel in this situation, if you can target that if you're Hera. Right now, trying to repair that lumber camp.
Oh, HP Knight.
Oh, switching to the high HP Knight. Very nicely done there for Hera, and does get converted before the monk meets its demise.
Oh, that's a lot of stuff that went down, though. 2 knights there, 1 converted, 3 knights. I think 4 knights went down in total there. That was really good for Jordan. Now some healing here at home, but Jordan goes for a second town center.
Yeah, and I think this is really important. I don't think you're going to completely kill Hera right now. He's just way too well defended. Go for some camels, make sure you're safe, add in economy. I mean, Hera's still ahead by a couple of villagers, and he's got better eco upgrades than you since you get the free farm upgrades as the Franks.
How did that game stabilize again? I can't believe it. How good is Hera? Like Jordan, I think against a lesser player, Jordan is already in game 4 here.
I agree, but Hera, he had the quick walls in when he needed to. He had a little bit of a flub earlier, did lose 4 villagers, but after that, that was about as clean a defense as you can get. Having all of the walls in, the repairs needing to be perfect, and they were. And Jordan, he didn't have any range units, and I actually really like the Cav Archer idea. I feel like that, it just pokes away at the villagers that are trying to go for the repairs. It just gives you much more guaranteed value.
Eco upgrades are soon 4 against only 1, so Jordan is behind in that regard, but we'll have 3 town centers against only 1. Those camels shouldn't really dive in. Nice instant reaction by Jordan. Has all the map control in the world, and not unlikely that he will get lots and lots of relics here.
Yep, he already has 1 safely stored in his monastery. Hera's eco upgrades are looking quite nice, but Jordan does have the power of the market on his side. And... oh.
Just run through. Oh, I couldn't decide if you want to go left or right.
Yeah. Loses 1 camel. Not ideal. It's not the end of the world either. But the longer this game goes on, the greater likelihood we are of seeing Mamelukes. Just saying.
You're still dreaming, my friend.
I know.
Man. Yeah. Obviously, Mamelukes would be crazy good. I think something like Camel Arbalest is something like Franks don't really have an answer to either, unless they go for a lot of halberdiers and kill all those camels. All of them get away. You can heal them up.
Yep.
We'll have to heal them up though, but still, not the biggest loss.
Got a couple monks here for Hera, and those are all easily convertible units.
No, don't tell me.
Well, that was a little bit unfortunate there for Jordan. Light Cav upgrade is coming in here for Hera, as well as a 3rd town center. So is going to be doing all right. This game is still even enough as far as those things go. I mean, the score is heavily in favor of Jordan, but I mean, Hera is doing all right for himself.
Game slowing down. Both players, 3 town centers. Now relics are the next steps here. Getting eco upgrades. What do you think about switching to CA here for Jordan?
Saracens have a lot of things that kill Franks. Yeah, you can go for Cav Archers. Franks don't love dealing with that. I mean, this is a map that really favors mobility and also things that shoot over wood lines, which Cav Archers do. All of those things. I do think it would be good for Jordan to have some monks here. Hera has 3 currently. Jordan has 3, is even grabbing Sanctity. Another conversion comes in for Hera, and these little engagements over the past few minutes have been favoring our blue player here, as now is looking to go for a bit of a foray here out on the map for the first time in quite a while. Husbandry coming in, going to help him take slightly better engagements, and now the pikeman upgrade, and he has 10 villagers on stone.
A pikeman upgrade against someone that already is preparing crossbows. That's really fortunate for Jordan here. Some villagers on stone as well. How aggressive is that castle going to be from Hera?
I'd like to see it really aggressive, honestly. I feel like Jordan's in a spot where if he's just chilling and getting to late game, he's just way better positioned as far as his potential army compositions go. Whereas if Hera can strike right now, or at least as close to right now as possible, I think you can still catch Jordan a bit off guard.
Okay, camels at least not getting caught off guard there. Crossbows at the front, now continues to build. So I'm a bit surprised that we didn't see the crossbow upgrade earlier. Now coming in, and Jordan just waiting for some more wood. No, actually goes for the mining camp without the town center.
Well,
like a lot of blue dots in the mini-map. Lots of blue dots on the mini-map.
Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like if Hera applies pressure right now, Jordan could be in a tricky situation. Got a bunch of vills coming forward to drop a castle. Remember, it's only 488 stone as the Franks.
Oh, he really needed those knights in the center. Crossbows.
Oh, you know, I asked for an aggressive castle, Nelly, and I'm going to get it. I really like this play here from Hera. This is going to be an absolutely pivotal fight in this game. Camels are trying to pounce on these units. The crossbowmen are here, looking to snipe monks or pikemen. Hard to go wrong with your targets here if you are Jordan. Bodkin Arrow is just now in, but is there going to be enough? Hera's army numbers are dropping. The villagers here are going to try and work, but this is not a safe worker environment.
Oh, those crossbows are so good on the minimap. Now we see the knights arriving, and Terra, he can't really find the kill against this brilliant play by
Terra
Jordan.
taps
He
out!
makes the Saracens work.
Oh my goodness. This is, in the sense that it was very well executed, he had the eco behind it, like that was very Jordan. But the strategy, the Civ choice and how he chose to play it, it's not something we typically associate with him.
3 spearmen, 2 archers, no upgrades, incredibly fast castle, and those knights pressuring everything. And like Franks, they struggle a lot there, right? As we saw, like, and Terra even had a pretty good defense, but that's a strategy, and it's so tough to scout, right? If we see Hera clearing up that army a bit earlier, then he can put on the pressure, but Jordan got the perfect distraction in.
Yeah, it was just really well done, able to get to that castle age. And Hera, I mean, I really like the idea of what he went for. He just didn't have enough. Jordan able to amass the sorts of units he needed to defend against that. If Hera just is able to slightly win that fight, the castle goes up, Jordan's TCs are getting pressured, and then suddenly the pikemen and knights become much stronger. But Jordan just saying, no, we're going to go right to game 4, and it's not going to be a match point for me. Yeah.
Oof. So Gold Rush still an option, and Arabia. Hera's choice now. Oh, Jordan has to be pretty happy about that one. And that looked like a GL strategy that we typically see from Shadow, from Dowd. Viper maybe squeezes that one in as well. Love that Jordan is adding that to his arsenal. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, no, and it's Jordan, since he's been back, he hasn't had that huge tournament win yet. I mean, he's been incredibly consistent in his performances, but just hasn't quite reached that threshold just yet. But I mean, if he beats Hera in the first round, I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Did he never win? Let me think. Didn't we have that discussion? Who is the best player that never won an S-tier tournament? Was it Jordan included there? MBL, Jordan, and Villese, right? Those 3.
Yep.
Considered to be the 3 best players that have never won an S-tier tournament.
Yeah, that would make sense to me at least.
Maybe it's his time now. Villese, not going to happen. MBL, not going to happen.
By process of elimination.
Yeah. So maybe it's Jordan Simon. If he beats Hera here, and arguably, this is the easier bracket, right? Because Leary and Viper are in the other bracket, including Dowd there as well. So you're going against only Tato, and Jordan Tato had a brilliant set at Wololo, but let's see. It could have gone Jordan's way as well. It could have been a 3-0. It actually went 3-2 into Tato's direction there. I would assume Arabia next. I think it's Portuguese, but I'm a dreamer.
You are a dreamer. Oh, man. Yeah, Mayans, Aztecs, I think. Just going for the full Meso war on Arabia.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that Hera, if he sees his opportunity here where he really thinks he's going to thrive, I think just having the most standard, mechanically sound game possible, I feel like he can just get those early advantages in taking good fights versus Jordan.
And then you're playing Portuguese on Gold Rush? Scout Rush opening or what? Because he's clearly not an organ gun player.
No, he's not an organ gun player.
He's Portuguese and plays Vietnamese on Gold Rush?
I think that can work for sure. I think you can play Vietnamese on Gold Rush as well.
Lithuanians can be pretty good against Vietnamese though, right? You get onto skirms,
yeah.
Chasing down easier. Huh.
I agree with you guys, really. This is definitely the most interesting Civ draft we've seen today.
Yeah. Most diverse. And lots of Civs that we have not seen before, and some Civs that we would not have expected at all, right?
Yeah.
Especially like Saracens out of Jordan, beautiful. Now Portuguese, Vietnamese still options there for Hera. At 6 Mayans, civilizations that we will see a lot for sure.
That's a pretty safe bet.
Okay, I think it's Mayans for Gold Rush and Portuguese for Arabia. I think Hera, he should pick Gold Rush first and play Mayans. I think that's how he should approach it.
That would be an interesting choice for sure. We haven't seen anybody pick their opponent's home map in this tournament so far. To be fair, this is only the 3rd set. So it's the 3rd of 8 sets. It's just such an action-packed few days here of Age of Empires.
Yeah. Semifinals tomorrow already, and obviously on Saturday we will have the 3rd place match and then the best of 9. Grand Finals. You can watch it live here in Hannover, Germany, and can be part of the crowd today and tomorrow, probably on the calm end, but on Saturday we're expecting it to be really crowded here at DreamHack Hannover.
Oh yeah, it'll be very exciting. It's still awesome just to have all the stage set up. There are people here enjoying the games, which is great to see. And we have been watching some great Age of Empires so far.
I've been crazy games. The Ring of Reeds,
Yeah.
was so sweet, so
Yeah.
sweet. Like the strategic depth of it and how Hera allowed himself to get a really good shot in this one, really nice. And now Jordan with the strategy, that makes me so happy, right?
Yeah.
Makes me happy for me as an Age of Empires viewer, happy that I was casting it, and also happy for Jordan.
Yeah.
Because I think like that was his biggest weakness, right?
Easily.
He was so predictable. And if now he adds this into his arsenal, he can make the jump into the top 4, I believe.
Yeah, he has the talent. I don't think there's any argument there. Like he has the work ethic to make it happen. And those things together, I think, if this could be like the breakout tournament for Jordan.
Would be nice. $40,000 on top as well. Isn't that second biggest prize pool of all time, right? For the first place.
You would know better than I would.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Old WCG said like 25,000 for first, 20,000 for first. Now we had 60,000 for first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So it could be a massive payday. Only 2 days away. Only 2 sets and 1 game away.
This event is crazy, but it's just so exciting. Like every single game has so much weight to it.
Yeah, cutthroat for sure. Ooh, best of 7 semifinals, best of 9 finals as well. But let's focus on this one. 2-1. Hera needs to win 2 more games. Needs to win Arabia. Typically is something that we say he's pretty good at. Gold Rush, certainly map where I can see him win quite well. But Jordan, an absolute beast on those as well. If we go into meta game, now we have to ask, like, how are Hera's nerfs sitting?
That's a good question. As I was saying earlier, he's going to be probably in a bit of a better mental state now than he was at the Wololo tournament, but I think that he'll be fine. Like, he's a pretty composed guy. And he certainly has the chops to make this comeback happen. I mean, if we get another 5-game set, I am not complaining.
yeah, not unlikely there for sure. And yeah, very aggressive games, right? Especially like Dave was a bit like, oh, this is going to be pretty wally. Game 1 and 3, not so wally, Mr. Dave.
No, and I mean, game number 2, I don't think we can call that like a boring boom fest either.
Yeah, adjusting the headphones there again. Obviously, they are head canceling
Head canceling?
head canceling sound phones. And we also get some white noise on there, so they can't hear this audience, they can't hear the casters there, although we are pretty close, but they are fully focused on the game and only get the intel that they would normally get as well.
Yep, all of that is pretty par for the course. We have our nice stage set up, so hopefully they are comfortable enough for these long sets.
No more sun.
No more sun.
That's helping quite a bit.
We have beaten the sun, everybody. We have forced it to retreat until morning.
So I think this looks like game phase from Hera, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we are into the game. Jordan, is that game phase as well? That looks like game phase, Jordan. Yeah.
Yep.
Jumping into game 4.
Well, here we are in game number 4. It is Arabia, and for Hera, it will be the blue Mayans to the west of the map. I mean, picking Mayans on Arabia, that is about as comfort pick as you can get in Age of Empires among the top players, but this is his tournament life on the line, a sentence I don't think many people would have expected us to be saying right now, but Jordan is going to be the red Lithuanians here to the east. Another interesting civ pick for this map.
Maintenance indeed. Obviously starting 150 extra food, therefore you can go up pretty damn quickly, can go on to extra scouts, you can go for those skirmishes, pretty good in chasing down those archers there. An eagle switch could maybe later be stopped by some lighters as well if we get that deep into the game, but certainly the aggression should come from our player from Germany.
Yeah, just one of those civs that can go off aggressive really quickly. Maybe a fast uptime. I mean, Lithuanians, they're a civ that you can get a fast enough uptime to play scouts, I think, pretty comfortably, even against a civ like Mayans, who are known for going for early rushes, men-at-arm rushes, that sort of thing. So I think that's still a possibility for Jordan. I think that where you don't want to be as Lithuanians is just on the back foot in mid-game. Lithuanians, they're a civ that love to be able to go out, get those relics for their cavalry, just kind of boom up behind it because you just don't have any sort of mid-game eco bonus with this civ. So we'll have to see what Jordan has in store for us.
Reasonable assumption to think that Jordan could get to 3 relics there, right? The safe one in the center and the other 2 are reasonably close to him here and far away from Hera to contest this. So think Jordan, obviously getting more attack there, something really beneficial for him. Both players heavily pushing deer right now.
Yep, that does appear to be the case. It's just kind of the meta these days. Maybe not expecting something super crazy early aggression. And wow.
No Loom play? I think so, right? Jordan, yeah, Loom behind. So the score of Hera is so low, you have to be pushing deer. Your eagle is not going to hurt my villagers. I go up to fuel age even faster than you would expect.
That is going to be a very fast uptime. That is interesting for sure. I wonder what the follow-up is. I feel like Scouts is just sort of like the obvious choice, but maybe Jordan has something crazy in store for us.
Not the prettiest gold position-wise for Hera, but 2 woodlines pretty close next to it. I think he can easily get some very natural walls in front, and Hera should be fine controlling his gold, although, like, yeah, I think the woodlines are helping out too much.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. Jordan himself also has a pretty forward goal, but I like that he's building his infrastructure and walls at the front of it, just so that it's a little bit safer. As we see, the barracks seem to have a very natural wall just in front of it, so you can not have to worry as much about all the Mayan archers you are likely to see in this game.
But on top of his base, it looks really open, right? Next to his town center there, towards the stone, out of Jordan there, it's not going to be too pretty. Hera trying to control the gold as well, and Jordan still didn't find his opponent, neither did Hera, so only now they're scouting their opponents. Obviously pretty early fuel age timings.
Yeah, for both of these players, Loom now coming in here for Jordan, and his military production building of choice is likely going to be a stable right now, as we have all of these buildings being scouted of Hera's by Jordan, going to be harassing the villager a little bit. That villager's like, I'm not dealing with your nonsense, scout.
Shot it. Up, and scared him away. Hera now, yeah, he continues scouting there, knows the scout is at home, and therefore can't really kill his eagle. Is that only 1 single villager on the berries? Looks like it. Hera 2 on deer, 1 villager on berries. Rest on wood and gold. Archer opening there for sure. Now send some over to the berries again. The big question, Jordan, how heavily are you committing into archery range, into skirmishes, indeed trying to pressure Hera's back gold at the front?
Yeah, this is some pretty darn aggressive play. We don't normally see an archery range follow up that quickly after the first stable. People are pretty farm happy these days. No horse collar, no problem, but it's going to be expensive to do that, especially if you don't already have that farming infrastructure set up. Okay, there's horse collar coming in, but that means you're just on 3 scouts right now. Although getting that nice feudal age win against the Eagle Scout is quite handy. Hera himself is going to be chasing away the scouts with a spearman and a preemptive defensive watchtower. What do you think of that watchtower placement, Nilly?
I'm a bigger fan if you place it more towards the right side.
Thank you, Vodka.
Vodka would have liked it there. Obviously, villagers then take a longer time to get there. But just alone 1 tile closer blocks the villagers off a bit more, while we see maybe kill there at the left-hand side. But it's 2 villagers, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't find the kill. Found one, but lost 2 scouts.
I wouldn't say that's worth it.
For whom?
For Jordan. The person who could have decided if that engagement happened or not.
Yeah, I also think that's a lot of threat taken away. Now only 1 scout out there, 2 skirms. We got the farm upgrade a bit later out of Jordan, and now egg-based time. Not a single farm yet out of Jordan.
I mean, I guess he was just able to push all those deer, and that's how you can delay farming that much, as neither player's built a single farm this game. Vodka did point out that we have the hole in the back of Hera's walls, and since Jordan has...
could have a hole here as well.
Yeah.
It's very likely that he will spot that, because the villager will stop working at that end.
Yeah, shouldn't be, I think, too much of an issue. Blacksmith is now in no fletching just yet. There's only 9 on food right now, as both players' food incomes are going to be in a bit of an awkward state until we get those important farms down. Hera himself getting fletching, adding in those Eagle Scouts.
Weird transition phase, right? 19 on wood there for a moment for Jordan. Obviously, lots of them on stragglers will go onto some farmers. Maybe one villager more on berries could have been an option. That scout is getting scared away. Didn't I already kill an eagle?
But that's the thing. It's been a long time since you had to wait till Castle Age to train Eagle Warriors.
Okay, so Archer Eagle is the play. Makes the skirm counter less efficient. I think Jordan needs fletching here. And he's getting it.
He is for sure. And then, like, I say this every time I see one of the American Civs on Arabia. I just love having that anti-skirmisher unit that you don't have to invest a ton to get into. You already have the barracks. You don't need the 80 food for a scout. You're gathering gold anyway for making archers. And it just makes this late feudal age so much more awkward. Is Hera actually going to try and dive this?
Not really. Just wanted to go for villager kill. Tries to disrupt the eco a bit, but now fletching finishes those skirms. They can just sit here. I don't even think Jordan needs to invest into another unity and feudal age. Those 5 skirms are enough for the defense.
Yep, just make sure you're fully walled, which he will be. And yeah, it looks like these guys might just want to take it to Castle Age. Hera actually has more of a bank right now. Jordan just now going over to the gold. There's the mining camp. And going into mid-game, I feel like Lithuanians are going to be happy if they're just not under a ton of pressure.
What Civ is happy being under a lot of pressure?
Byzantines don't care.
Okay. Good
Teutons don't
answer.
care. Koreans don't care.
The moment I asked the question, I felt like, Byzantines would be a good answer there.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice one, Onlo. And yeah, Jordan defending with the skirmishers here, obviously only tickling those eagles. Some more houses being built here. Skirm goes back, and we are likely going to see a second house. And yeah, not too much pressure, but it's certainly some indirect damage.
Yeah, for sure. You know, causing some idle time. Actually, forcing out padded archer armor is kind of interesting.
Was a single skirm being shot? Could we check the HP of the skirms? Oh yeah, okay, I can see it.
Well, I guess they are being brought back, which is something. And, you know, Hera has a fairly large army right now. I mean, it is 13-8, and his units are better. The Eagle Warriors are at least not awful against the buildings.
It reminds me a bit of Game 1 here. Like, Jordan going for skirms, having 0 resources, and Hera somehow going to click up pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's just Hera getting that food eco down so quickly. He's got 20 on food right now and is going archers. Like, that is just such beautiful feudal age eco optimization.
Would love to see Jordan send some of his very weak skirmishers into the town center. I don't think he really needs 8 skirmishers for the defense here. Like, 6 are doing the same job. 2 could heal up a bit more. And Jordan, yeah, now goes for the market, wants to buy himself up, and Hera might have a pretty good timing.
Yeah, and I'm sure Hera would be way happier if he didn't invest into that defensive tower that he didn't end up needing whatsoever. Then he could have added TCs without any issues. But right now, going to be on his way up to the Castle Age, getting gold mining. You can choose to take this one aggressively or passively. The 2 villagers on stone, perhaps a little bit indicative that Hera wants to be booming a little bit.
Interesting here that Jordan moves out. Wants to kill 1 archer, did some damage against the eagle. Hera can just run. How much HP do we have on those eagles that they're not willing to take the engagement? Actually pretty full. Yeah. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah, pretty interesting for sure. Now, as Hera's closing in on Castle Age, what is his follow-up going to be? He's building something at home, and those are just houses, actually. There are the villagers on stone for adding in TCs, but I don't see any additional archery ranges or barracks.
Weird, right? Typically, like, either a second barracks or, like, going for 3 barracks or going for second archery range.
Or 2 barracks and 2 archery ranges. We see that perfectly often. Not even fully walled, but yeah, just seeing where some town centers could be placed. And
does Hera think, okay, I can never break the skirm defense, I will need to boom?
I feel like Eagle Warriors are pretty good at that if you wanted to go for it. But right now, Jordan is on his way up to Castle Age as well, but he did sell his stone to do so. So he's going to have maybe a little bit of a harder time booming. Not going to be the biggest deal. I mean, you have the market. We have Bodkin and Crossbow and Bowsaw all coming in at once for Hera, the trinity of early Castle Age archer upgrades. And just going to be booming it out.
Okay, Eagle still poking a bit, will lose some HP. A house there behind the palisade. Jordan tries to avoid any weak points here at all. And Eagle actually loses its life. Crossbow and Bodkin now ready to do some damage against the skirms. And villagers won't have the prettiest day trying to rewall this area.
They won't, but critical difference between this game and game number 1. Jordan's fully walled, and you're not able to fully wall Sheepfold. Arabia, you can do it. Yes, one villager has been lost. It's not great. It's not the end of the world. We have Elite Skirmisher and Bodkin Arrow coming in here for Jordan. It's like a little bit awkward. Units are trying to charge in as fast as they can here for Hera. He knows that those upgrades are going to be incoming, and one more villager seems to be totally fine. Never was in any sort of question. No, is she going to make it? Oh.
But the Eagles were all lost. All Eagles lost.
Yeah.
Now the skirmishers are a bit better there. Okay, now one knight popping. I don't think that one will contribute too much. And skirm numbers are pretty low all of a sudden. We had like 9 skirmishers. Now we're looking at 6. Make it 5 pretty soon as well. And those crossbows, they found quite some damage.
Oh yeah, this is such a beautiful timing with that faster castle age here from Hera, adding in the monastery. And he's just on 3 TCs right now. This is not remotely committed to aggression.
Yeah, Siege Workshop, Monastery as well. Hera's playing the very long game. Found the damage, and now he's just, yeah, reaping the rewards.
I mean, he's just going to be on cruise control at this point. He is ahead, and he has everything he needs to get more ahead. He is not risking anything. I mean, he's diving in right now with the crossbow, but that's just some more guaranteed damage. What's Jordan going to do? Attack you with 5 skirmishers? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, okay, I like that little knight.
Attack you with
by.
1 knight. What do you think about that?
I think that the Ville's going to make it.
Nice save.
What did you do? We don't want another blacksmith situation from earlier.
Oh man, the crossbow should be able to defend this one. Hera takes some damage, but won't lose the Ville. Great play.
Yeah, just really solid play here from Hera. This is not I'm about to be eliminated jitters from this guy whatsoever. Knight still hanging around over here, going to be a bit annoying. Notably, Hera has completely gone off of stone. He's making Monk, Archer, Mangonel, nothing too crazy.
Honestly, like sitting at 3 TC, he knows, okay, Jordan has to be behind in economy. He just needs crossbow, mangonel defense, and early imp. He easily wins this game, I believe. Jordan needs to make something wild happen. I think maybe even all-ining this one needed to be the answer out of Jordan. Or can you catch up in eco here?
I don't think you can easily catch up in eco, but what you can do is take a bunch of relics of Lithuanians and then play, try and play for some Latus. Even if you have to stick in Castle Age a long time, I feel like if you have 4 relics with those guys, it doesn't matter that much. But that's like really like trying to find the best possible situation for a game that just does not look at all good for Jordan.
Those skirmishes are actually pretty scary. +2/+2, faster movement speed here, getting some damage done. Do we maybe need redemption here out of Jordan with the monks? But then Hera can easily go into more eagles again.
And it delays his economy so much. And
oh, where do we shoot? Where do we shoot? Oh, split. Gets 1, okay.
It's all right. I mean, Jordan with 1 villager on the stone, Hera already at 71 villagers. This guy's macro is absolutely crazy. He's got Bowsaw in right now.
Idle TC time, 34 seconds with 3 TCs running. Absolutely massive macro here out of our Canadian player. Keeps up the pressure as well, keeps up the production with Crossbowman, with the Mangonels, picks up relics. Macro beast.
Oh yeah, this is what we would expect from him coming into this set today. Is now starting to mine stone with 6 villagers, could be thinking about a forward castle. Don't think we're going to see Doubt-style 5 TCs with Mayans. Doesn't really seem to be as much of a Hera's likely game plan, but a forward castle here, maybe getting to Imperial Age faster.
32 farmers against 25 as well. So, like, that's another criteria why Hera should be up to Castle Age or to Imperial Age so much faster. We're still going for some skirms, now going into Knights, but lots of skirms lost here. Very low HP. Jordan still dodging.
Doing the best he can, given the situation. Has some vills fleeing to the north. I think those might have just been some hunters. Right now, Hera is applying pressure, and Jordan does have +2 defense for his knights. It's not, you know, the end of the world by any means, but he doesn't have any relics. And this is where I said Lithuanians do not want to be, is if they're on the back foot, they're not in a great spot economically. It just doesn't feel like a Civ that can make these sorts of big timings happen because your army is so food intensive.
Nice moves here for sure with the skirmishers getting the knight really low, the Mangonel pretty low. And now villagers getting in there a bit as well. Converted knight actually pretty scary.
Well, first relic is going to be on the way here for Jordan, as that is going to be brought to the monastery. Town Center might be doing a little bit of damage to the crossbowmen. Honestly, some pretty nice micro in jumping in and out of that with the skirmishers. That relic is going to be denied for Hera, but he's on 89 villagers right now. He's going to click up to Imperial Age at like 27 minutes.
If you're a Jordan fan here, you might think like, okay, nice defense, he's living another day. He's 30 villagers behind. He's going for knights against someone that's likely getting onto a lot of Arbalest pretty soon. This is the moment where you drop the extra archer ranges, or could also go into eagles if you wanted to be, going for the big surprise. But if you see the knights, it's probably just being here, and once you're like 1 minute away from him, you retreat, go home, and get all the upgrades.
Yeah, no worries. But, I like this engagement from Jordan. Have to be careful, of course, with the mangonels, but trying to flank a little bit with the skirmishers, snipe the mangonels with the knights. Monk here going to try and go for the conversion. Nice control here from Jordan. I worry that it's going to be for naught in the end, but you know what? Credit where it's due. That was a very nice fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Found the, beautiful engagement, honestly. And now the crossbow number's not looking that scary. Look at that. He will be reset to basically not a single crossbow.
Wow.
Is there timing here? We have a defensive castle coming up. That was pretty damn impressive by Jordan. Takes the score lead.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. I mean, granted, Hera is on the way to the Imperial Age, so that's dropping his score a little bit. He's picking up foraging right now. Jordan already has 3 relics, though. That's pretty sick.
Sick behind-the-scenes play as well. Quick walls there at the front. Not sure if that will be enough. Knights will get in if they wanted to commit here. I think maybe 2-3 go down, but then the castle is up.
The castle's going to be up. Hera's going to be fine. He's still ahead by like 30 villagers. It's not the end of the world, but...
Idle eco, though.
It is idle eco, and we keep on seeing today, nobody's
crossbows
really
dying.
Oh, whoa, hold up. Hera, you've got 9 more crossbowmen on the way. They are really cheap with mines, but that doesn't mean you want to throw them away. And now Hera's in a situation where it was just like completely smooth sailing to victory, to now he's stuck at home. Yeah, he'll be able to push back his opponent, but now Jordan has like a little bit of life in this game.
Well, elite skirms are actually pretty scary. If you don't get all the upgrades here for Hera, if you take some time, and remember, getting all the upgrades is really expensive. You need more than 1,000 foods to have the Arbalest fully upgraded, and then you still need to push to the other side. Jordan is setting himself up here to buy himself some time, but only 7 skirmishes. I think he needs to keep up the production. I think he's thinking about him. Will be a tricky choice, though.
I actually don't hate this from Jordan in the sense that if you can just buy some time with this army, click up to Imperial Age, and then ramp back up your production, you could be okay. But right now, Hera is not at all messing around. He is not fooled by this little counterattack from Jordan. It's just not all that scary at this point. He's got his transition going. He's got Arbalest, he's got Bracer, and at this point, Jordan has very little at home to defend, and he has not even clicked up yet to the Imperial Age.
Jordan has a castle, and I think he's building stone walls at the bottom. So actually, that's a really good move that those are stone walls and not palisade walls. I think he's buying himself enough time here.
And
it's actually really good out of Jordan.
Yeah, this was such a bad situation for him. But like I was saying, nobody in this tournament is going out without a huge fight. Everybody is just really making their opponent work for any sort of win. And now Imperial Age is on the way for Jordan. Lithuanians, their army is very expensive, so 82 villagers is still quite suspect. Hera himself is on 115. That can basically afford Infinity Mine archers in the Imperial Age. Chemistry coming in is going to be absolutely critical. And now it's going to be, can Jordan continue to buy time against a Hera who's now getting his war machine back up and running?
Oh, forward castle, though. We are more than 2 minutes away from imping, so that will easily be some trap production there at the front. Skirmishers even getting converted, something we don't see too often.
Oh, well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do right there if you are Hera, and it's gonna be forcing Jordan back for the time being. I mean, we're looking at 164 pop to 100. Treb war, not gonna be much of a Treb war as one dude's in the Imperial Age and the other is not.
Jordan catching up in eco upgrades here, but those upgrades that we ideally wanted to see a bit earlier. Arbalest count now above 40, more villages in the queue. Hera looking strong to even set himself up for a tech switch because the economy is just looking so good. And indeed, that's what's coming now. Barracks on the way.
Hera still has less than a minute of idle TC time this game.
Big.
Oh man, such great macro. Both of the neutral golds on this map happen to be in the south as we have some plumed archers frolicking around. Masonry. Masonry's great. I'm not sure how much that can save you.
Well, I think he survived 2 more shots out of traps.
Yeah.
So we buy a bit more time, but obviously that's a pretty much dead area. I would love to see Jordan also get ballistics here. Skirmishers really need to find some damage, but as we mentioned, like skirms, even if they are the perfect counter to Arbalest, the next steps are eagles that are already being prepared, and that will catch Jordan off guard absolutely, and Bracer for skirms won't do enough. Eagles, I think, should finish the game for Hera.
Yeah, ideally you want to get to some late chai by the end of it, but there just is nowhere near enough time, nowhere near enough castles. Currently that is getting trebbed right now. Hera is big chillin' over here at 200 pop. Gonna have 3rd trebuchet here in just a second. Jordan has no stone income, so once that stone he has banked up runs out, he is all dunzos. I mean, late chai are really good, but one of them not gonna be enough.
Skirmishers now still patrolling behind this one, trying to somehow buy himself some time. Villager production continues, skirm production continues as well, but Hera, look at that. Eagles in the queue, Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade coming in as well. Right now, not a lot of blacksmith upgrades, but it doesn't really matter. Hera even doubling down, 2nd castle. Jordan, I think he's dreaming, but he doesn't know what's coming.
I mean, he saves the castle long enough to get conscription in, which is super important upgrade, so can't really complain too much about that. But another forward castle here from Hera. He's just creating this position that's like impossible to break, and that's going to be the last of Jordan's stone going down the drain. Yeah, Elite Eagle Warrior now in. There aren't that many of them right now, but it's 70 army to 31, and that's usually pretty...
13 Elite Eagles right against 23 skirmishers. That number is totally fine. We have 3 knights, 2 lighters there, and Jordan, he won't be happy. Even Eldorado on the way. Those will be the deadliest eagles in the game. And Jordan, he fought quite well, but the early castle pressure was so well executed by Hera.
Yeah, and that's just the theme of this series. We have the last game, you had the first game, and this game's just the guy who gets that much faster castle age time, really applying a ton of pressure and either getting a lead or just outright winning. And there is the GG called, and this is our 2nd game number 5 of the day.
Yeah, pretty damn close sets. 3-2, 3-1 was really close games in the second, and this one is 3-2, and the arguably best set still coming with Doubt versus Leary later on following this game 5. Jordan against Hera. Now we go on to Gold Rush. Civilizations, we already tried to rack our brains there. Aztecs, still an option for Jordan. I don't think he will pick Tatars over Aztecs.
It's hard to argue against Aztecs in like any setting except water.
Then we have, what do we have for Hera? I don't remember. Berbers was sniped.
Yeah.
Something that we
there we go. Oh, Portuguese.
Vietnamese.
Nilly.
Against Aztecs.
If you say Portuguese enough times, I think he'll eventually get picked.
Portuguese. I think it's more likely Portuguese than Vietnamese. Oh no, actually not. Not with Hera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some players would pick Portuguese over Vietnamese here, but Vietnamese just fits so much into Hera's style as well.
Yeah, just
strong economy there, getting onto a lot of crossbows.
You can go crossbow knight super effectively with the Civ.
Yeah, and Aztecs, well, they can try to make an Eagle in happen. Maybe some more market usage out of Jordan there. Is there a chance that we see Tatars?
I think so. I mean, I really like Tatars. They're so solid. It feels like they just have options at every stage of the game. I think Tatars work fine versus both Portuguese and Vietnamese.
With crazy hills in the center of the map.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Tatars do 25% extra damage shooting down from hills, and Gold Rush is very hilly in that center area, so trap wars are way better for you. If you get to CA, you can like out-micro your opponent pretty nicely, and if you decide to take the fight, you just do so much more damage.
Exactly, and especially when it comes to Cav Archers, say, versus Eagle Warriors, where getting that little bit of extra damage, it just makes a huge difference. Oh, man.
Oh, he's wrecking his brain. Do I play Aztecs against Portuguese Vietnamese? What are we going for here?
I mean, there is, like, no pressure for us, and we're, like really getting into it. Like, oh, man, what are they going to see?
Yeah. That's what Jordan actually said 2 days ago. Like, oh, Castle Life is good. There's no pressure on it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I had to disagree a bit, but I can see that he is, like, he knows what's on the line.
Oh, yeah.
It feels so weird, but this is one of the biggest sets of his career, actually.
Yeah.
Like, money-wise, playing on the stage, like 1 game away from guaranteeing yourself to play like 2 more sets as well, because you will make the semifinals and you will play on Saturday as well.
Exactly. Got all 4 civs that are available. There is at least a 33% chance that they're going to be picked.
Ooh, luckily I'm not a banning man there. I would go lower than 33% with Tatars.
I think Tatars are good, man. I feel like if you're sniping Berbers, that means you want to play Tatars on Gold Rush.
Berbers are also good against Z6.
Are they, though?
Yeah, Mass Knights.
Yeah, I mean, Mass Knights can work, but
Actually, like, it's Hera's style, right? He plays Mass Knights with Chinese against Z6.
That's true.
So Berbers kind of makes sense in that direction as well. So Portuguese Knight Crossbow is crazy with them as well.
Yeah, certainly.
I predict Portuguese at 6. What are you predicting?
Vietnamese Tatars.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't, oh no.
I did.
Ooh, okay.
Watch. I mean, you were right earlier with the predictions on the first set, so watch me just go 0 for 2 here.
Okay, Jordan. He's sitting up, right? He knows what's up. Oh god, game 5. Loser is out.
I know.
Winner goes to the semifinals tomorrow. And Jordan, eyebrow raise. Was he surprised by the opponent's Civ?
Let's see if we will be. At least one of the 2 of us will be in any given situation.
Well, it might be a mix.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jordan. Okay, he looks. What is that? Oh.
Very expressive.
Is he laming or is he like having a really bad map there? Jordy, what's happening? Maybe he's just trolling us. Maybe he's not even playing and we look at his face and he's just like playing Minesweeper. Like, oh, a bomb here? Oh, that was unfortunate.
Oh, here we are. And we went 50-50.
Okay.
Well,
let's call it a draw.
All right, we'll call it a draw. All right, we have Jordan here in the red as the Tatars to the east of the map. Match point, and his opponent, of course, Hera, going to be in the blue as the Portuguese to the north. The map is going to be Gold Rush. We have not seen it yet today. All going to be focusing here on the middle where most of the gold is located. Kind of have this sort of concentric hill thing going on here. Lots of wolves in the middle, which always makes me happy.
Oh, no, the wolf.
Yeah.
So, big thing here. Portuguese balance change. You generate wood by actually getting berries. But Hera is not going for that opening. We have seen build orders where you build a mill before you build the lumber camp, and then the wood is generated so that you can build the lumber camp from that generated wood. But Hera just goes for the pretty standard build order, so he gets that extra wood a bit later.
I mean, you're getting your, 250 extra wood at some point. It's not too big of a deal. Just have some deer getting pushed right now alongside the boar. All of that is going to be fine. Now, in this particular matchup, Portuguese versus Tatars, I still like Tatars. I feel like they just have such good military options. They're great at camping hills in the middle of the map. You can go for camels if need be. Steppe Lancers are an option. Cav Archers, crossbowmen timings. You got the whole thing.
Okay, Jordan's face at the start. Was that maybe due to his main gold spot? Because that's at the edge of the map. And especially if you want to go for crossbows or CA, you sometimes want to have 12 on gold. And then you kind of need to go for both gold spots here, right?
Yeah, that is a little bit
ugly.
awkward for sure.
Deer very close to the berries. Jordan didn't build the mill towards the berries or pushed a single deer. So he was not sure what Hera would open with. And Hera actually played without loom.
Yeah, just going up on 20 population, no loom. Jordan doing the same thing, but getting loom before clicking up. This is such an intense game, man.
Is it double scout opening?
I think it is.
9 villages on wood should be probably the adjustment here by Hera. 5 on one wood line, 4 on the other. Now has some stragglers. And I think it should be a scout war.
Yep, there is the barracks on the way. Probably just a few scouts. I don't see this being like a full feudal age sort of thing. I think it's just to make a few scouts, a few spearmen, make sure you can wall up safely. Keep your opponent honest, so to say. Make sure that they have to wall up, and then just go to Castle Age.
300 food for Hera, so that's why he's going for those stragglers. Jordan sees the barracks, Hera sees the barracks. Perfect scout positioning by both players.
Yeah. Turns out these guys are pretty good at this game.
Looks like it. Okay, Loom queued up for Hera. Flick. And we're expecting the stables from both players and also expecting both eco-upgrades. Archery range! Okay, curveball.
Okay.
Out of our Portuguese player without going on to gold earlier. Jordan confirms that. Is he switching it up? Is he going for archery range himself?
Nope. Gonna just be going for the scout opening. Totally fine there with the Tatars.
That's fully closed, right? I think so.
Yeah, it looks...
Tree over here, tree over there. Okay, so we only need to wall next to the relic, and we control a really big area of the map already.
Yeah, that's certainly quite handy right there for Jordan. Notably, no double bid axe coming in yet for Hera. So this is a pretty tight opening. I mean, it's 20 pop, no loom. He didn't quite, and he went for 2 lumber camps. So not quite with all the resources he needs to go for a strong economy behind this. And although Jordan didn't lure any deer, the deer are right next to his mill.
Yeah. Finish the berries and then go for it will be the strategy. Jordan without the farm upgrade though, and that scout could take another hit. No, it won't. So many villagers walling right now. His economy is not that pretty.
No, it's not, but, you know, he's going to get the walls up. He'll be
Wolf rush.
Yes, my brethren, go forth. You bring the wolves forward, you delete the spearmen, then you...
You attack a bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Try to go for the berries there, or do you go for the gold? Oh, runs into the spearman there. Big hit against him. Blacksmith going for it. And surprise!
Hello, hello, hello. Well...
It's like deleting.
It's the next best thing.
Can now move away. Don't go next to the town center, otherwise the town center can kill the wolves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Goes for one villager there. Seems like a clear up. But still, some harassment, some annoyance, and the army had to stay home.
Yeah, and you know what? On the other side of the map, Jordan's going to be fully walled behind this. He's still harassing his opponent with his scout cavalry.
Still no farm upgrade. I think he can squeeze it in before he heavily goes into farming. Indeed, that's what's happening. Now adds some more farms here too without, and now goes for the deer. Still a reasonable transition. Now goes for some skirmishes. And yeah, this will be another game with a very low KD going into Castle Age.
Yeah, looks like it. Right now, just the scouts poking away at each other a little bit. I doubt we'll see a second archery range before Heracles up to Castle Age. But again, it's just like always with this guy. His food count's really good, man.
Sick, right? He transitioned so well there. Obviously, he was greedy this game, going for all the deer. Only 3 farmers for now. Only 8 on wood. And that transition won't be the easiest. I think he will heavily need to go on to stragglers. And moves out with his archers. Bit of a surprise to me, but he still has a scout with lots of HP. No, that's a low HP one, right? Yeah, pretty sure.
It doesn't really matter, I think, that much. There are a few skirmishers here to defend for Jordan, so it's... Yeah, he did have to make that investment. Probably didn't want to, but it's not too big of an issue. Looks like that scout will finally die. Both players at 30 villagers, 2 seconds idle time for each. All of that is nice and even. Now we have Blacksmith coming in, and it's just going to be a little bit of aggression before Castle Age.
Jordan sits at 2 skirms, 2 more in the queue. Fletching for Hera, no fletching for Jordan so far, simply because Blacksmith is still missing. So he will again have the farm upgrade, the better setup for the long game. Hera will have the better timing, will have the faster Castle Age. How do you turn that faster Castle Age into an advantage on the map?
I mean, I kind of wanted to say drop 2 TCs and boom and go into like late Castle Age, really flex the broad tech tree of Portuguese, like and go for a castle and play the middle.
Market? Is he selling stone? Is this a timing play?
Well,
honestly, like forward siege doesn't it doesn't sound like Hera play, but I think it could be a good play.
Well, stone is being sold. Castle Age will come in soon, and of course Hera gets the nice little advantage of getting slightly better prices. That's always handy.
Go Wolf!
Go Wolves!
Out micros them. Oh, look at how good Hera's micro is.
Poor Wolves don't stand a chance, man.
Yeah, it's on, man.
Yeah.
So Jordan a bit late on gold there. Is using the market himself now. Sees, though, that Hera used the market before. And Jordan sees, wow, Hera, you sold your stone. So Jordan should know, wow, in all-in is not unlikely that it's happening here. Fletching. Didn't Hera get fletching earlier? Must have cancelled.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, Fletching's coming in now, so just able to squeeze out a bit of a faster castle age time in that way. And Jordan himself, 6 on gold. That is that's the only archery range, right? So,
Yeah.
not too sure what either of these guys want to
Jordan
go
wasn't
for.
sure that that area is walled. Sending a villager over there.
Nope.
Now he
it's
gets the
walled.
confirmation. Okay, re-wall to that area as well. Pretty passive play. Tatars, we said it, like 3TC play is something they really love. Crossbow number getting pretty damn high, and we see double archer range, 1 stable.
Huh.
What is that play? Interesting.
It feels like a lot of pressure for sure. I mean, getting the extra production buildings. Jordan only adding in the 2nd archery range right now. This does feel like Cav archers.
Goes for a scout. Love it. Absolutely love it, what Jordan is doing here. Maybe he can even kill the scout of Hera if he gets the downhill hit. Spearman around. And Jordan, unfortunately for him, he is already getting scouted. Gets the yoink there. Nice one. And now he will get the intel. And the scout is actually running into the right direction, a bit by chance. Look at that scout. So good by Jordan.
Oh, and he sees what's
Awareness.
going on. Able
Won't
to pull
lose a
the
single villager.
Oh, that is exactly what he's looking for. Padded archer armor on the way now for Jordan. He's adding in more skirmishers to this army. Going to start with a bit of a contingency wall here, making sure he is nice and safe. And behind this, Hera is just making crossbowmen. He's getting bodkin, getting the crossbowman upgrade itself. No knights. Okay, now one knight is on the way.
Oh, I need more walls, though. That's still open between the market and the house. Need to find something there. Okay, finds it. Villagers need to run. No villager lost yet. Skirmish upgrades are coming in. We're still 30 seconds away from elite skirm, though. Needs to dance a bit more here.
Yeah, it's going to be about buying some time, but this already feels a lot better for Jordan than, say, game number, 3 on Arabia?
Yeah, absolutely. It was game 4
sorry,
on
game 4.
Arabia, exactly. Because now he gets his upgrades in, so numbers are a bit better. Villagers still need to run away from gold. Is finding his timing, though, and gets the shots off. Jordan, I think those gold villagers aren't that safe.
They feel actually
Are they?
quite unsafe.
Are they? Oh, that was a ballsy villager. Tried to wall those in. 2 knights on the field, though.
Knights are completely unupgraded, though, so they're not going to be as great against the skirmishers as it might appear on paper. It still doesn't feel like that great of an army, though, for Jordan. He has added the 2nd TC. I love the scout running into the base of Hera to see exactly what's going on. And if Jordan is just playing this one very safe, 2 TCs, you get to an economic lead, steadily over your opponent, but not to the point where you run the risk of getting killed. We have leather archer armor coming in. That's super important to have those crossbowmen only deal 1 damage to the skirmishers. Just makes them much more effective in lower numbers.
Ooh, 2nd town center. It feels a bit on the risky side. Like, we knew that Hera was selling the stone. Didn't we need more walls? Didn't we need more houses early on? We knew that something very aggressively was coming our way.
I think that Jordan, maybe a little bit more walling would have been good, especially at the area where Hera was attacking in, which was just a great choice from him. But I like the 2nd town center in the sense that you are still getting that economic lead. Okay, the 3rd TC feels really greedy. That feels very greedy here for Jordan.
Also, it's in the direction where we could see Hera attack with a Mangonel. I think maybe at the other gold could have been an option. Look at that hill. Could have been really good. Now 2 knights are coming in, close to the town center. As you mentioned earlier, not the scariest thing. Is a villager moving out here? Is Hera continuing with this aggression, or is he trying to buy back stone and go for town centers himself?
It's not too clear just yet, and okay, it's going to be relocating it to the location that you suggested. That is going to be fine. Knights are going to be able to slip through next to the mining camp, so it's not like Hera's taking any real losses. Is now just making more knights. Does have the scale barding armor upgrade in right now, but is only on the 1 TC.
How is Hera minus housed? Did he delete a house at some point?
I feel like he has to.
Okay.
He did earlier.
He did one for the stables.
Oh, okay.
And that put him out 70 out of 65.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Lots of idle time here for Jordan. 9 military against 30. Now the forward siege workshop. Oh, Jordan, I think you can't really continue the heavy villager production. University, maybe you need a siege workshop. It's not going to be that easy here. Jordan's economy is better, but so many idols are forced. Hera's aggression is relentless.
Yeah, and although it's not killing any villagers. It's just putting Hera in this position where Jordan has an inefficient economy. He's not working towards anything close to a good army. And at the end of the day, how useful is a 9-villager lead when you only have 9 skirmishers against this huge army? And I love the ram choice. You see that your opponent doesn't have a siege workshop. You have the momentum, just batter down those buildings and push Jordan out of this tournament.
Oh, Skirm trying to make the defense happen, but those knights, are they thinking about jumping here? Probably waiting for the +2, just scaring this one. No, he wants to go. Oh, yo. Those are tricky choices to make now for Hera. When do you go for the final attack?
As soon as +2 defense comes in, and it's in right now, and you can see immediately Hera turning around, and then turning around again, waiting for bloodlines.
Okay, next upgrade. I think Jordan needs to add something in the back. Either more archery ranges, a siege workshop, maybe monastery.
I just can't get behind with how greedy Jordan's playing this. Adding the 3rd TC, getting ballistics for your skirmishers instead of just having like more skirmishers. I feel like you just need stuff to throw at your opponent at this point. Even just going the 2 TCs, that already gets you an eco lead.
Yeah. Oh, yo. CA now trying to help out as well. Skirm's just trying to keep some or create some distance here. Now even going for foraging. Hera goes all in with those knights. And remember, cheap on gold.
Yep, 60 food, 60 gold for a Portuguese knight. Got the 3rd archery range coming in. And you can see that, okay, this Cav Archer transition is at least starting. Those don't cost food, so you can at least expand your villager count. And, I mean, Jordan is getting pretty far ahead economically. This is just, it's such a tight hold. We have a stable on the way. Could it be just for things like bloodlines and husbandry? Could be for some camels mixed in.
Too many crossbows for mixing some camels. I think I would have liked to see probably some mangonels here to try to deal with the mangonels and crossbow. Try to buy yourself some time here for Jordan. He is still 20 villagers ahead, but it looks like Hera is putting on so much pressure that Jordan can't really weather.
Yeah, the second mangonel is here. It is 3.7k army value for Hera to only the 1.4k of Jordan. Hera starting to charge in here. Cav Archers, they do have the free thumb ring upgrade as the Tatars, which is always handy. But right now there's going to be a ton of wood that's being forced to be spent on repairing this town center. Mangonel's working away. There's the siege workshop for Jordan. Now he's even grabbing bloodlines right now. He's just trying to make whatever he can. But it just feels like it's a little too paper thin of a defense.
Oh, it feels like Hera is deciding to dive here. Knights, does he want to commit? Still lots of skirmishers in that main town center. CA in real danger.
They are, but none of them have gone down yet. Some of the crossbowmen died to town center fire. The knights are retreating. Jordan has like half of his eco idle right now, which is not exactly what you're looking for. Bloodlines is in.
Can't afford a mangonel for the defense, and those 3 archer ranges not really producing, only some CA on the field. Now some villagers trying to repair. A ram joining the party, but he can't really repair against 3 mangonels, not with 2 villagers.
Definitely not. I wish the ram was attacking the town center instead of a farm. I think that would be great for Hera, but...
Why are the skirms in the town center? They need to shoot. Now the town centers are garrisoned. Skirms losing quite some HP.
Oh, this could be it here for Jordan. The Cav Archers are trying to shoot and scoot as best they can, but right now skirmishers are on the run. Hera is just so far ahead militarily. Jordan trying to micro this down as best he can, but the Cav Archers are only at 11 against 13 knights, 13 crossbowmen, and this just feels like it's a little too tall of an order for Jordan. He has a really nice little nook, though, until the mangonels come in. That's about as efficient a fight as you can get, but so many villagers going down here for Jordan.
Yeah, crazy positioning there. Still 12 CA, and CA, obviously, they will be pretty good against the knights there. If you can micro them properly, especially with Tatars, you can take some hills, but as you mentioned multiple times, like so much of the economy is getting idled. Gold control will be tricky as well, because you're so limited at your home base. Need to expand towards the center, but all the center control is in Hera's. And CA. Oh, they're still some. Villagers are pretty even. Numbers are getting pretty close here. What am I witnessing? Am I a believer?
Are you, Nilly? You're the only one who can answer that, I'm afraid.
4 knights only.
And these are very well upgraded Cav Archers.
Oh yeah, all the upgrades.
Yeah.
Just 1 mangonel?
Now, Hera is adding in the second TC behind this, so he is planning that transition at least a little bit, but I mean...
Jordan, what is happening here? He's making this one close. Crossbow are dying, knights are dying. Just 1 knight to clear up the mangonels now.
Yeah, and that... Oh, another Cav Archer is going to...
Mangonel dance. That's so important. That one Mangonel of Jordan must not die.
Oh, this is so critical. You have to micro a bunch of different units all at the same time. Remember that Cav Archers actually deal 2 damage to Mangonels, so they can take them down. But, oh, that was such a beautiful fight there for Hera. He's still at double the army. He has the villager lead. That's, of course, the efficiency lead is enormous right now for Hera. The Mangonel is still at pretty high HP. And just, I mean, there's no reason for Hera to stop sending units forward at this point. Jordan is trying to hang on as best he can, but he only has 1 more Cav Archer on the way.
Eco KD at 22-0. Economy not that pretty. So many farms not being used. Again, villagers idle here. Jordan idle TC time. Obviously forced because he had so many TCs but didn't really have the economy. Crossbow's now trying to micro this one off. Jordan with the CA is pretty good job, but as you can see, 3 in the queue now because he only has 1 archer range left.
Yeah, just Hera taking down all of that infrastructure is so critical when you're going for a push like this. It's why I liked him going for the ram initially. Husbandry now coming in here for Hera. It's still 27 army to 12. Jordan had a moment where things were possibly looking a little bit better for him, taking the best fight. I mean, he has a positive KD right now, which is pretty crazy, all things considered, but yeah, there's just so many units here for Hera, and I don't see him stopping this pressure anytime soon.
One of the main takeaways from the set could be to look into the very different approach when it comes to farm upgrades. Like Jordan and typically the GL boys are very much going for the greedy approach. Farm upgrades early, trying to cut some corners there. Hera, really late every single game.
Yep. And also going for a bit more aggression. You do not want to be sending your Cav Archers in right there. That is another nice little nook, but Hera is a bit wiser this time, sending the Mangonel forward. Of course, that is going to be the perfect counter. Oh. Yeah, this feels a little too far gone.
75 population. Jordan trying to hold on here. 12 CA. Is microing them really well, but that's another town center going down. So much control lost. Hera goes for TC3 behind this. And now the crossbow number gets really tricky that you don't really want to micro against those Mangonels anymore. Jordan still goes in. Don't really see that as an option.
If we had maybe 10 more Cav Archers, I think this game is still like in the balance, but you're just not quite able to save enough.
Oh, look at the center. Town centers kissing each other. What's happening here? But 2 knights are coming. Oh, that's so bad for Jordan.
Oh. Feels bad, man. The scout's like, I can help, guys. Guys, I'm helping. Oh.
Should lure them away. Yeah, crossbows diving for the CA. They're now not really able to defend that town center. And Jordan with the head shake and the smile. Hera is going into the semifinals.
Expected result. GG, well played, smiley face. Hera, definite moment of relief for him for sure, but this might have been the expected result in the end, but how we got there, absolutely incredible back and forth set, and of course, more AoE2 bromance going on.
Good, look at that, like thumbs up, how you came back here. Jordan was leading 2-1 and crazy strategies out of Jordan. I love game 3, game 2, absolutely brilliant. And Hera, with this aggression, right? The more standard we get, the more he shined, it felt.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what we saw, but Jordan showing some signs of, okay, maybe we can do things a little bit differently, and if you have the strategic mind and the mechanics of Jordan, you can make it work against the absolute best of the best.
Yeah, Hera, but that looked pretty strong. Like, we need... Hera is facing the winner of...
Hera's facing Tato.
Hera is facing Tato. Oh, that's going to be a big task for either player, both players there. But Tato, he is the guy that can maybe put Hera into the position where maybe Hera gets a bit more uncomfortable. So that's going to be an exciting set tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that'll be great to watch. I mean, all of these sets are exciting.
Rematch of Vololord there, the semi-final.
Yeah.
Ooh, 3-1 was the last result. Tomorrow, ooh, that's going to be so good. Oh, exciting there. Last thoughts on this set?
Yeah, it's been just a great day of Age of Empires so far. Great sets, and we're not done just yet, but let's see what the analyst desk has to say about this.
Or Ellie, maybe, with the interview.
Oh, Ellie, my bad.
Are we live? Thank you so much. Wow, congratulations, Hera. That was so close. That was a really joy to watch. First game, you were looking really confident on Sheepfold. Your gameplay was so clean and your micro was sharp. Let's talk about that second game, Ring of Reeds and the button, Flemish Revolution. Talk us through your thoughts there.
First of all, thank you very much. And yeah, second game, honestly, I have to give him props for the strategy because I realized very quickly that I didn't have any access to gold. And so I was expecting Janissaries, but then he showed up with heavy camo and I said, there's no time for helps. I got to go for it. And you know, I think I could have won had I just delayed it a little bit more, got my upgrades. But since it was so improvised, I didn't have time to set it up. And honestly, props to him for that game.
It was really close. And to see you go light cap with Burgundians, no bloodlines, no SR, but Hera, you're remaining true to your strategy. And, well, you almost had the comeback, but Jordan pulled through. Game 3, Land Madness, Franks versus Saracens. That was another tough game for you. Where do you think it went shaky for you?
That game was a little bit frustrating for me because I was having some sound issues and I didn't actually hear him click up. So I only knew he was up when I ran into his 2 knights in the middle of the map, and so I didn't have time to wall up. And so that really threw me off my game. But, you know, that aside, I think he played a really good strategy, and I think that he kind of prepared, you know, to attack me a little bit, force a reaction, and then switch to a fast castle. It was a bit unfortunate there, not being able to react as well as I would want to a fast castle age, but it is what it is, and I think that my forward castle at the end was a little bit suspect.
Well, you were down then 2-1 going into game number 4. What was your mental process like, and how did you get back into the zone to come out victorious?
I was a bit frustrated after that second game, so I was, you know, having a little bit of sound issues. So I wasn't demoralized, but it was definitely a little bit, you know, shaken up, and I felt like I just needed a couple of minutes to regain my focus and you know, just get ready for game number 4 and 5. But I'm happy I pulled through in the end.
Well, it was really close, and like I said, an absolute joy to watch. Going into tomorrow, do you have any ritual strategies that you're going to go over today, or just kind of hang out and chill and enjoy Doubt versus Leary?
I'm going to probably speak with Leary a little bit, make sure he's ready and prepped for his set, and then probably just chill and watch that one. Really hope he can win so we can, you know, make some plans for tomorrow. It's a very exciting event, and I hope I can go further.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for your time, Hera. We're going to send you back to Artosis and hear some more insights.
Thank you very much.
So I gotta say, like, there was a little bit, I want to say, of negativity towards Jordan before this set, but it was good, right?
From his teammate, no less. I mean, I really has conspicuously disappeared now.
He ran out of here when he saw 2 wins.
Like, the thing is, Jordan is here for a reason, right? Jordan is a very good player, and he showed us that he's a very good player. Like, recovering in that Ring of Reeds game, there was moments there, I think, where Jordan, I said it to you, I was like, he should never lose from this position. And then Hera just kind of crawls around the map. It's only Hera can do. And suddenly he's up to 60 on food. And you're thinking, man, a minute ago you were on 20 on food. How on earth did this happen? Jordan surviving the button, though. And then Jordan taking the next game on Land Madness, where Hera is just like straight up favored almost every single time on Land Madness. So that was super impressive. But I think the games that Hera won, he showed why he's the favorite. Dominating performances in the 3 games that he won.
Yeah, that looked kind of crazy, didn't it, Ornlu? Where I was just sitting there actually backstage with Dave, and I'm like, why is he just killing everything? It looks like there's no chance.
That's how it looks when Hera's crushing, man, and it was just so decisive in those wins. I still feel like even in the games that Jordan lost, he still had moments, though, like in that Arabia game where he just took that brilliant fight in late Castle Age against the army of crossbowmen. It just, Hera's macro is just wild, and if you just have like twice as many things as your opponent, it just doesn't matter in so many situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, the macro really, I mean, you already talked about it a little bit, right, where he pushed the button, as you say.
Yeah.
And you were telling me you were calling that rat mode, where he spreads out. I love the name.
Hera's ratting it out on the edge of the map. Jordan has all the resources, and Hera's got TCs, and he's like, I'm fine, bro, I'm fine. He's along the edges, and we saw him tech into the light cav, of course. Burgundy and Lycav maybe not the best in the game, but Hera, when you have 60 on food, you can get away with it. And he was going to try and just kind of chip away at Jordan, the edges of his base. He finally resorted to Flemish Revolution with no armor in when he clicked the button. But Jordan, it didn't actually matter that much because Jordan didn't even have Bodkin on his castles. He only had fletching on his castles.
Yeah.
He went for no walls, like Nilly mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think he was kind of nervous. I mean, as you are when 170 military come your way. But this is game number 1, and this was pretty dominating here on Lu.
Oh yeah, it was a bit of a bop for sure, just having that much faster castle age time. I mean, Nilly and I were talking about how amazing that feudal age eco optimization was, and it turns out having an army in your opponent's base when they have no army is pretty darn good.
Yeah, and doing all that work with skirmishers. Like, he saw that TC, he saw feudal skirms from Jordan, he's like, coming in! Hold the door open for me, and then Jordan just taps out there in early Castle Age. Going into we are at the Grand Melee. Going into game 2, though, this was just an insane eco and macro game from Hera to just stay in it and then get back in it once again. You see 136 villagers, and this is after he's clicked Flemish Revolution. So that's pretty insane from Hera to recover his eco to that point, with Jordan having all the control of those resources in the middle.
But at the same time, it was brilliant there from Jordan to just hang in there and then go, from 10 villager kills or whatever to 60.
Yep.
And then Jordan making that one happen. Now in game number 3, Hera's doubtful castle, as we say. Not exactly going to be working. It was just all about that timing from Jordan showing up with the knights. Hera not quite able to deal with it. He almost did, which was wild, but
I think Jordan did a fantastic job early Castle Age, limited space in the back of Hera's base, and he kept saving the knights over and over again and sniping the spearmen. It was fantastic micro unit control there from Jordan, and we can see Hera just kind of leaning forward, man, what happened in that game? We heard him, he wasn't aware of the early Castle Age time, but still, I mean, good performance from Jordan. This was another example of Hera just being Hera, right? You mentioned Jordan took a great fight late Castle Age. The problem with that fight, it's probably a minute too late because Hera already has a stone for a castle, but so by the time you transition back across, there's a castle going up, you kill a couple villagers, that's it.
yeah, it just was a day late and $1 short right there. And of course, at this point in the game, and then the writing is on the wall, not that town center wall because that one's about to go down.
That one's dead. Yeah, that one's gone. Thank you. That's a renovation. Right?
Oh man, and this nail biter of a game 5. Again, it was Jordan was almost holding on there, but he just went a little too greedy, I think I was saying.
He took the risk, right? He took the Cav Archer risk, but it feels like that university should have been a siege workshop.
Yep.
If the university was a siege workshop, Jordan might have held. He had 3 TCs behind. He could boom up, go for the university later. Why do you need ballistics so bad when you're just fighting an army that's coming right at you?
Yeah, it's just not the most important upgrade in that situation, but at the end of the day, Hera just not relenting in that pressure.
And I love to see Jordan. I love to see him when he wins, but I love to see him when he loses too, because he's such a good sport.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I love to see Jordan lose, but I love to see his reactions because he has a great perspective on it, as well as actually Doubt has voiced this perspective a bunch. He's like, when I lose, I try to think of how happy it makes my opponent. Because we're all friends here in this community, right?
Yeah.
We see each other so often. And he's like, and then that brings me some level of joy, right? Even though I've just lost a huge set, it brings me a small piece of happiness to know how good it feels for my opponent. So.
Yeah, I have to say, actually, coming from StarCraft, it's kind of weird how happy everyone is and how nice. And, I walked in on the first day and Jordan ran up and hugged me. I've never met him before. I'm like, this is great.
All the rage is boiling deep
some
inside.
great guys.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look here at the bracket. Of course, we already have one of the matches set for tomorrow. Tato versus Hera. That's going to be amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah, and the Viper, of course, awaits our next victor. Is it going to be Leary? Is it going to be Doubt? We're going to see in a moment here. Let's throw the schedule up just real quick. I mean, you guys kind of know already. This is exactly what's happening. Dialing it in. Leary versus Doubt going to be coming up next. Right now, we are getting prepared for that draft. But what do you guys think about this matchup? Because I feel like I've heard more different opinions about this matchup than any of the other ones.
Well, I mean, Doubt has found success against Leary. More success than a lot of other players. And it's just a conflict of styles in every possible sense. Leary's some of the best micro, if not the best micro in the game. Doubt. He knows about micro for sure. He knows about it.
He knows it exists.
Strategies. Leary's got like one strategy that he pulls out a lot of the times, right? Yep. It's like archer mass into crossbows into arbalists. If that doesn't work for some reason, he goes knights.
Yep.
And if that doesn't work, well, then he goes to the next game.
Yeah.
And Doubt, while we meme about the cav archers and the forward castles being a primary strategy from him, he's got so many different options, and he's got so many different tricks and such great game sense. He can really make anything work, and we'll see that probably in the draft as well.
So, I mean, what do you guys think is the actual end result of a match like this? Because you're saying, like, Doubt does better against Leary than basically everybody, but does that mean he wins? Because, I mean, when I look at it on paper, like the speed, the micro, the youth of Leary, it feels like he should be favored here.
I think he is. I think that, you know, all of the hyping and the memeing aside, I think Leary is just the favored player. He's just so strong and very well-rounded. Like, he can do everything. It's just, why change your strategy if you just do the same thing and you, like, win, like, almost every single time? I do think that Doubt is incredibly adaptive, and that's why he's had success in the past, but he's really going to need to pull out all the stops and make sure that he is just playing really cleanly, because Doubt can be a little inconsistent at times.
Yeah, and Doubt needs to get himself into a position where he's got multiple TCs and he's just using his macro, because as much as we talk about maybe his lack of execution sometimes, when he's got 4 TCs, they're all producing. Like, they're all producing. He's always putting his wood into more farms. You know, he's building up his eco behind. It's just the kind of priority in how he makes his decision making as well, which really benefits him, right? He always makes the right decision at the right times when he's playing well. We saw that in the replacement qualifiers, 3-0ing Jordan, 3-0ing MBL. He looked fantastic, and I hope he can carry that through here. I would probably give him like a 35-40% chance of winning today, if he keeps up the form he had in the replacement qualifiers.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for the analysis, guys. We're almost ready for the draft, but we're going to throw it to a quick commercial break. We'll be back very soon for our last match of the night.